All right. One second. We're going to get started here just a second. Let's see. So blank. Let's turn this on. Let's go. Go live. What's going on, guys? 1 second. All right, that'll have to work. One second. Let's get this in here. There we go. Docs, chat. There's my chat. Dalton, what's going on? Gianna, hey, what's happening? Checking in from Northeast Atlanta. Hey, it's oh, that's gonna be a close call there. We're going to take a look at some stuff here. Actually, Atlanta, Charlotte. See how these are panning out. Let me get my chat pulled out here. What's going on? TikTok and YouTube. All right. There we go. What's going on, everyone? We'll get started in a second. I literally just turned my stream on, so give me 1 second. Yeah, two seconds. We're gonna get going. I actually want to use Windy a little bit this stream, I think, because Windy's good at showing radar. Let me see here. Windy, let's go to our radar. And let's move this to... 1 second, guys. Here we go. We want this to be moved to... 1 second, guys. Precipitation type. What a weird radar on Windy, honestly. 1 second, guys. We'll get into this in a second. Windy's radar is actually not that impressive looking. All right. Un momento. That's why we have Radar Omega. We can look at what's actually going on down there. Give me some news on the upper eastern North Carolina. Yep, we're going to get right into it in 2 seconds. Christina and Jem, what's going on? Love the new logo animation. Thank you, Gianna. Yeah. My friend Phil did that for me. He graduated with a degree in graphic design. And I said, hey, let's put this to the use. I need some stuff. He helped me with my actual logo with that. Yeah. How's Columbus looking for snow? We're literally about to get into it. So, all right, let's look at all our new models. We'll start with pivotal weather right here. We'll start with pivotal weather, and then we're going to move our way around, and then I'm going to get into answering questions. Some people actually look like they're getting more snow. So, hey, I just want to let all of you know that I was projecting for Dallas 2 to 5 inches yesterday, and Dallas is so to the north of Dallas. I was looking up updates to the north and to the east of Dallas. They could get 7-8 inches. Actually, in Dallas, they're projected 2 to 5. Now it could be, I don't know. I want to see if someone has the latest update actually in Dallas, but I think my projection on that was going to be correct, which is a good start. All right, really quick before I take any questions. Let's talk about what's going on, and let me take a sip of this. A lot going on. Right now, it's raining in Dallas. Yep, that'll happen. That'll happen. Rain and snow and sleet. Yep. You guys got some snow earlier, though, right? Okay. Here we go, chat. Here's our latest HER model, 00Z. This is a great model to look at. Brand new, just for you guys. Now watch what happens as we progress over the next few hours. This is interesting. Watch what happens. Some of that rain in Dallas, actually, and what you have right now, which is mixing. So I'll actually go down here so you guys can see. I think you guys might transition into more snow again. Phil, if you're in here, I feel like where it says climate corner and the little graphic on the bottom, I feel like we need to make that like a blue or something because I can't see it with the white behind it. I don't know. We'll talk about that. Let's see. Yeah, so you guys are in some sleet and rain, but watch this. What's right behind this system? Obviously, this is the troughing behind it. Cold air. So cold air is pushing in behind this. So as this kind of wraps up, I think you're going to get back end snow as well. You very likely will get some back end snow. That rain, sleet, you can see, and this is what I was telling you guys about when you're really close to the snow line. Most of the models showed snow literally coming through like this, you notice, but this whole area is mixing. So, anyways, let's move over to the southeast and see what our latest HER thinks for us. Still snow in northern Mississippi, northern Alabama. And mixing and snow is all but guaranteed into Atlanta. It's going to be tough with accumulations and then a ton of rain on the back end. It's going to be tough with accumulations, but it's possible because of all that mixing and snow. Yeah, I think you could see still accumulation on the ground. I've been seeing totals go up for Charlotte. I mean, they basically want just snow for almost 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, for almost 4 or 5 hours, just pure snow to fall. So, and then after that, you're still into mixing. So that's not bad. And then as we move up to the northeast, we're just taking a look at our latest HER real quick, and then we're going to go over some models, and I'm gonna take as many questions as I can. And then as we get into, we'll look at the Ohio Valley real quick. I mean, this is a mostly snow event for Tennessee. I know everyone, people out east in East Tennessee were like, we're just going to get rain. I don't know about that. I think that's crazy. I think your weather people are smoking something. And then we're going to go up to, let's see, regional. Why doesn't it let me switch from there? Nothing much happening in the mid-Atlantic. Kind of falling apart. This actually has a little bit more bullish snow coming through central and southern Virginia. And this snow up here is going to be very light. This stuff above this main band, all of this is going to be that's all going to be very light. This is very, very light snow. I mean, you might not even get any accumulation in some places. And our Euro almost doesn't even see it. See, kind of has it breaking apart through there. Southern Virginia, southeastern Virginia might get a good little smack there, though. Our NAM's been doing weird stuff, and I want to see how our NAM adjusted. Our NAM completely shifted the snow line north of Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and to the west of South Carolina, and to the west of North Carolina. And, okay, I put snow back into there now. Okay, because the NAM has been doing crazy stuff. It's been disagreeing with every single model. I'll get to questions soon, guys. Okay, so the NAM did shift back south and east, but still not as far as the other models. The NAM still is not wanting to put any snow into Charlotte, while most other models do want a decent amount of snow into Charlotte. You can see the new Euro, 2 to 3 inches. The new HRRR. Really quickly, the new HRRR. Yeah, 3 inches. I don't think they're going to get 3 inches. I think 2 maybe. Raleigh, looking good on snow. All of Tennessee. I mean, Arkansas is getting dumped on. Oklahoma. I saw some heavy snowfall in OKC in videos online today. And, yeah, more amplified snow for Tennessee and the Ohio Valley. Really quickly, let's just look at our latest updates since people want to know. Here's from where we were, what's expected to fall. So, I'll get to chat in just a second, guys. What is going on, everyone? I'll get to chat in just a second. Here's kind of some of our updated totals. So, I mean, Tennessee hasn't changed in days. Maybe a little bit more for South and Western Tennessee, but the rest of the state has always looked like 4 to 6, most likely. Maybe 7, but I think 4 to 6. So that hasn't changed. Like I said, totals in North Carolina have actually risen from Charlotte all the way up to Raleigh. So, all right, guys. So what's going on? 30 miles north of Atlanta now. I mean, it looks like you guys are going to get accumulation, maybe an inch. 30 miles north of Atlanta. There's model disagreement there. So I would say a trace to a half inch is the most likely. Anything more is a gift. But inches possible there. Christina, Jen, Kelly, Jojo, what's going on? I live in East Tennessee. They have been all over the map with this snowstorm. I don't know why, Damon. I don't know why they've been all over the map. I can see if you're in like whatchamacallit down here, Chattanooga, because you're so close to that Georgia border, and there's a little bit of confusion on on how much mixing is gonna happen down here. But I still think even in Chattanooga, like Tennessee just feels safe with snow. Even the HRRR does something weird through here. The HRRR does something really weird through portions. Look what it's doing here through portions of the mountains. It's leaving an empty pocket of snow. I mean, it's saying nothing's going to happen there. That doesn't make any sense. Error. Doesn't make any sense. You know, you could be getting some warm air pushing up on the mountains, but you're going to get snow there. I don't know what they're telling you specifically in Eastern Tennessee. Any updates coming to Northeast PA? Yeah, this has not been a Northeast PA snowstorm for at least 4 or 5 days now, unfortunately. We'll say 3-4 days now. We can go look up at the Mid-Atlantic. It's, you know, it wants to give an inch up there maybe by Sunday. I think that'd be good. Your content is great. What's your dream weather job? Adam, this is my dream weather job, to grow on social media, not just on here, but on YouTube and other platforms, to be able to sit and talk to people every day about weather. This is fun for me, looking at maps with everyone. Jojo, Ryan, Ness, what's going on, dude? I appreciate that. What's going on, Ryan? Let's see. Just northeast of Atlanta, perimeter. Every new model is showing a different snow amount for us. I know, it's super weird, right? Once you guys though, being within this is the HRRR 3K, being within 12 hours of this, I would really start to trust the HRRR now. So I would really start to trust this. Your inch line, just so you guys know, is like there. So I would really start to trust the HRRR at this point. Cross, I appreciate that. Do you think there's any chance for another snowstorm for New Jersey after this? There's a 1,000 million gajillion pajillion% chance. Well, I'm not saying there's 100. I'm not. That's a wrong way to put it. Well, yes, no, actually, it's not the wrong way to put it. There's 1,000% of chance. Of course, it's winter. It's New Jersey. Come on. We've been in a little snow drought, but like, you know, of course there's a chance. Most parts of New Jersey average at least over 5 to 10 inches of snow every winter, and we're not even halfway through winter. So of course there's a chance. There's a zero possibility that we won't have a couple shots at snow in New Jersey through the rest of winter. I'm not saying it's gonna fall, but we'll at least have 3, 4, 5 more chances for snow in New Jersey. Yeah, it'd be super weird, or unless we just went on a crazy drought and saw no precip for 3 months, which that's way less likely to happen in New Jersey. But I talked about it in my video today. The East still looks good. We have a negative NAO still through the end of January. Lots of cold air out there and above average moisture from the Climate Prediction Center. So it's even better than normal. You can't, oh, I didn't get much snow. It's January 9th. All hope is lost. We aren't even in the peak of winter. We have not even entered the peak of winter. So you have nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. You'll see your chances again. And I think you're going to see 1 or 2 more before the end of January also. Marshall, I appreciate that. Where's that pink heading south? Where's that pink heading southeast? What's going on? This Euro is very interesting. This Euro, very, very interesting. This Euro actually pulled the snow much farther south than the Georgia too. You can see, guys, it almost wanted to do what the GFS said. Watch, as soon as our storm gets off the coast here. Let me move this over so you can see it. As soon as our storm gets off the coast here, it begins to tilt. Look at this. We get off the coast, suddenly 999 low, 993, 988, 975. Oh my God. If this scenario right here happened just right over here, this would be huge snow for everyone. That's how close it is sometimes. It's getting that negative tilt as soon as it gets off the coast. So the GFS was seeing something that was that easily could have happened. The timing's a tiny bit off. Boy, Mom, what's going on? No problem, Dewan. Kansas. Do we have snow there falling yet? What does our Euro think for Kansas moving forward here? 3 to 4 in southeastern Kansas. Realistic. What's up, Tyler? Someone's asking Asheville. Asheville should get some good snow from this, I think. Asheville, I think this is the 3 to 5 inches. Not out of the question. There are going to be higher mountaintops, though, in Appalachia that get a lot more than that. Home should possibly no school. I hope you guys get some school off. Diane, Charlie, people up here, people in Delaware and Maryland, those kids had like the whole week off. Was it this week? Yeah, like a lot of them had Monday to Wednesday, Monday to Thursday off. So that's just fun for them. They're, good time. Snow in Metro Atlanta. Again, if I were to follow a model for Atlanta now, it would be leaning towards the HRRR. Once you get within 12 hours of your system, drop in some precip in your area, the HRRR starts to really win. So I think this is probably not a bad snow line for Atlanta. This latest model wants an inch into Atlanta, so I would say be cautious and say a half inch, which means you could get a coating of snow through Atlanta. Yeah. Proud of you growing the channel. Ryan, Ryan, you've been here for a while. I know it's been going crazy lately. It's been really cool. I've been trying to make my it look a little better. I'm over on YouTube now doing some stuff like that, but I appreciate you, bro. Misty Rain, what's going on? Determined, I appreciate you guys. Gigi, Elon, Charlie, thank you guys. Hi, Connor. What's going on, Shy? How is it going? What is that number on Cincinnati? It's hard to read. Kids in Northern Kentucky were off all week. Wow. Cincinnati up there, that's a 3. That's 3 inches. Definitely possible. I'm feeling much better today. I got a good sleep last night. Hard day at work today, but it's okay if I can get more sleep. I actually slept in more than I should have. Don't tell my boss. Haggy, Sarah, the real. Sometimes it's nice working from home. I literally just roll out of bed when I'm supposed to be on my computer instead of having to get up 2 hours early to sit in an hour of traffic. God, I love my sleep. Isabel, what's going on? Louisville, Kentucky's looking like between 3 to 5 is a possibility. Yeah. Any snow for Palisades? I wish. I talked a little bit more about that in my video today. There's 2 new fires that started over there. There's a fire on Los Angeles and Ventura County line, and then there was another fire that sparked up in Angeles National Forest. So now a lot of the fires, though, around the Palisades and Hollywood are under control. White smoke was seen all over the mountains today, which is very good. But, yeah, it's terrible. A lot of people are saying the biggest fire like in LA history. Not even close to the biggest fire in California or LA. It was just the worst placed fire. The most damaging fire, because where that thing spread was on top of some very, very populated areas. So yes, biggest in terms of damage and destruction. Yes, not in size. This not even close. But just a horrible place to get a fire started. Yeah, it's very sad what's going on out there. Haggy, Sarah, the real, Isabel, see Dino, see Dinosaur, Isabel, Maya, appreciate you guys. Nashville, yeah, I mean, Nashville's numbers are up to like 7. I'd say 5. You have to, when you see these little bands, these little strips of, this is where they think heavier bands are going to be setting up, or where you have more mountainous regions. You're not at super high elevation in Nashville. So I think 4 to 5 is most likely outcome for Nashville, but I think probably 5 is most likely outcome for Nashville. Rampart, what's going on? East Tennessee, Chattanooga. Mary, we already talked about that. Yeah, I mean, you guys should still get a couple inches of snow. 2 to 3. I know they want to, that your weather people have been telling you're going to just see a bunch of rain and stuff. Apparently someone said, but that does not seem correct. Even the NAM has been one of our most conservative models with southern snow. The NAM, which wants literally to erase snow in all the other places that all the other models like it, including our greatest short range model. Kimber, what's going on? What's going on, Kimber? Art, appreciate you. Even the NAM wants an inch into Chattanooga, and the NAM wants to erase all the snow down here. And so that's the NAM is like the outlook that takes everyone's snow and throws it out the window, which is really weird, actually. Here's our O1Z from the HRRR, and the O1Z already, and this model stops loading right here, and it already has an inch of accumulation, saying it already expects you to get an inch of accumulation in Chattanooga. So I would expect above that. If it's already projecting an inch and the model hasn't even continued loading. Yeah, I think a bunch of people in Chattanooga were freaking out because the NAM model started showing no snow in Chattanooga, but the NAM model also started showing no snow in any of these areas. So and it was an outlier. It's an outlier model, and then some weather stations I think started using that outlier model and telling people to get ready for no snow. I was like, I don't think so. I don't think so. Any chance of a heavy band crossing Charlotte area? Yes, there is. There is. What's funny is the NAM had 0 inches of snow into Charlotte yesterday. Now it has an inch, and that's the lowest that any model has. The HRRR is upped it to 3 inches. Your Euro has it around 2. Your GFS has it around. It's close. It's going to be tight, but I would definitely bet the over that you get at least 2 inches into Charlotte, or I would say at least 1.5 inches minimum. Most model you can see 2. You can see the Euro likes 2.2. You can see the HRRR. We'll go back to our 0Z. The HRRR likes 2.8. That might be on the high end. And then our NAM, which didn't want any snow into Charlotte, now is like, okay, fine, we'll give you a 1/2 inch of snow. But the NAM is an outlier model. It's not agreeing with the rest. Let's look at our national blended models, guys. This is a really good one to look at. Even the national blend, which is the most conservative model we have snow total wise, wants 1.5 inches in Charlotte, which is a good sign, and does want a dusting in Atlanta, and this is a very conservative model. So not a bad sign for you guys. No problem, Cassandra. TikToker, Sarah, Vanessa, appreciate you guys. Hope everyone's having a good night. Happy Friday, Junior, almost Friday. Kelly, I appreciate you. Kelly's over there on YouTube. She said, please everyone be weather ready. Bottled water, soups, canned meats, bread, milk, and an alternative heat source. Check on the elderly. That's right. They won't ask for help. Yep. When this stuff like this happens, especially farther south than it normally does, you guys got to be, if you have, especially people who are living out in the country, out in the boondocks, using fuel for heat, maybe aren't prepared for this. It's best just to check in on them, anyone who's older. Who, may not be able to reach out for help. But you never know what's going to happen. Best is to check in on your folks and stuff like that. So not every day we see some of these, it's been a while since we've seen some snow totals like this in some of these areas in the south and some cold air like this. So Tim, IKEA, Vanessa, Rampart, I appreciate you. Especially, guys, when we get over into the Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, we're concerned with some of that ice that can, you can have some burst water pipes. You can have some power outages for extended period of time. Some not so good stuff happening over there. So let's look at our latest surface ice accumulation by our national blended model. This is going to be a conservative model. I'll actually take a look at the Euro's freezing rain, and not looking catastrophic for anyone, but I'd say South Carolina up through North Carolina is a really worrisome area. Let's hope none of you approach 1/2 inch. Let's hope none of you get to 1/4 inch, honestly. Stretch, what's going on? Cass, I appreciate you. Any snow for Georgia? Any snow for Georgia? We've been talking about Georgia. Where you been this whole time? Or did you just get here? Let's go back to our 0-0-Z. Yeah, your national blend still wants a little, like a 1/2 inch. Your HRRR still likes 1 inch. I think that's what it's seeing some of the mixing and sleet. So I think if you get a 1/2 inch, I wouldn't be surprised to see a trace to a 1/2 inch into Atlanta, but it's not impossible you guys see over 1 inch. It's gonna be tough though. It's gonna be tough. I think it's gonna be on the low end. Let's see here. So for Ohio near Cleveland, you guys are going to get some snow, but that's because you've got, it's not really all this system to the south. You guys got another low up here that's bringing some light snow through the area. And with these two systems combined, you're going to get some, a wide range of, this 2 to 5 that wants to be through this whole region, the Ohio Valley. Yeah, Missouri, central to southern Missouri should all see a good accumulation. 1 second, guys. One second. Philly. You guys want to check out the Mid-Atlantic? An inch is possible. Although I would actually trust the Euro out here. We're outside of 12 hours, so our HRRR is not going to be as accurate. I would actually trust the Euro here. The Euro thinks we get a dusting to a half inch. I think that's possible. Really quickly, you guys want to talk about what could be down the road here? Why your winter's not over, especially I think in the South. I want to show you something here. What's going on? We'll talk about why we're in a favorable pattern. Let's go into this. Let me fix my little screen here. Okay. Here's what's happening. First, let's take a look at our teleconnections. Just let's get an update on our teleconnections here. Why not? AO still wants to go positive. Actually, this is new. This wanted to go very positive yesterday, and now they have it almost staying neutral. That is good. That is good news for you that want to keep cold air on and have a chance for more snow in the south. That's your negative. That's your Arctic oscillation. When that's negative, it's colder in the lower 48. Here is your NAO staying negative all the way through, at least almost into the end of January, staying negative to neutral. Negative NAO is a good look for colder air out east and an active storm pattern. So that's good. We'll see what happens in February. That's why I think I've been saying the last week of January, early February, we could see a minor pattern shift out west, but it's looking good for a few weeks here, guys, for us out east. And then we could take a look at our PNA. And our PNA wants to stay positive. That's a good sign for more cold air to come, or more cold air to stay out east for at least another couple of weeks. We are going to see some other events. And there's some things that different models are looking at, and I want to show you what I think is actually possible. Look at our 18Z GFS. The Euro and the GFS, both around this time frame, the 18th to the 21st, see just this is a gigantic trough. This is a massive, massive, massive trough. You can see it right here. And you can see this would be very close to being a big nor'easter. Now, if we were to see something like this, 1 second. If we were to see something like this, if this trough were to dive in any farther to the west, okay, I'm just, for anyone who's like spamming nonstop, I'm blocking people just because it's obnoxious. So Beth, obviously, like if I miss your question, you can ask it again, but people who are like spamming so no one else can talk. If this trough were to enter farther out to the west, this would be a huge snowstorm for everyone down south and up the coast. The way this would dig in right here up towards the northern plains, this would probably act like this. This would probably kick a lot of that. You'd have the same kind of thing that's happening right now where we're going to have a negatively tilting trough right as it exits the eastern seaboard. The Euro sees something similar here. I think the Euro is more aggressive with this. And for people who are like, you can't predict a winter storm out that far. These last two winter storms, we saw the signals for them over 10 days out. You can't see where the snow is going to fall, the accumulation totals that far out, but you can see a macro pattern if there's going to be a large troughing or ridging event typically. That's what's good for you. That's why your teleconnections are good to look at too. And you want model consensus. And the Euro sees this same exact event, the Euro and Canadian, around the 18th to the 21st. Big trough dipping down into the south. Lots of cold air, lots of moisture availability. There is strong model consensus across all the globals on this. This is going to give snow. This is going to be a big winter storm. It could easily shift south. It could easily stay on this track up here. But I'd be shocked if we got through January without another opportunity down here. If this trough were to enter a little bit farther to the west, it would likely dig down farther south. Whereas if it came in here, it would likely be more of a rain event for the south. You want that low pressure system under you. You want that low pressure system to dive under you because your top of your low pressure system is going to be pulling in cold air from the north and the bottom is going to be pulling in that warm, moist air from the Gulf, and that's why this is mostly going to be moisture on the south and eastern section of that low pressure system, the center of your winter storm. But that's something that we're watching. I think that's going to be really interesting. We'll focus on this storm for a little bit, though. I know everyone's really wants to know what's going on and what's our latest snow totals. I do think our HRRR within 12 hours is doing really good on this, so let me pull that back up. Let me see here. Becky, Susan, Christina, K. Young, TikToker, Vicky, Susan again. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I'm going to start looking for some questions. What is the snow predictions in central New Jersey? Just unexistent. I don't know, half inch. Not impossible you get more. You have a low to the north, a low to the south. You could get some interesting bands setting up through Jersey. I wouldn't expect a big snow day, though, unfortunately. But like I just showed you, we're going to have other opportunities here in January. Very likely. It's a good outlook. Good atmospheric setup ahead of us. Climate Prediction Center wants us wetter out east and colder out east. Like my friend Phil always says, everything's better when it's wetter. Shout out Phil. What time do you think snow will end up in Springfield, Missouri? We can look at our timing really quickly. Springfield, Missouri. Snow starts entering. I mean, here, let's go into our 18Z. Snow should be really through all of Missouri by midnight tonight. Heaviest snow probably through most of Missouri. Heaviest snow probably around 5 to 7 a.m. tomorrow. And then it'll start to lighten up. Lazy Egg and Stretch. I appreciate you guys. Not a fan of this weather, to be honest. You think St. Louis is going to get hit bad again? Heard 2 to 4 inches. 2 to 4 inches is a good estimate for it. I think so. I would estimate more like 3, but yeah, you could hit 4. I would say closer to 3. Orlando, Florida. I can't handle this. Yeah, it's been very cold in South Florida, and it's going to continue to be very cold. Yep, you're going to continue to see some below average temps down there. We can actually take a look at our temperature anomalies right now. Moving forward, look at this, guys. We'll look at these temp anomalies moving forward. Here you go. These are departure from regular temperatures. Watch the south and east. I mean, all that blue is you're way colder than you're supposed to be. And then finally, maybe a little warm up. Oh, just kidding. Look at that. This is this mega trough I was talking about, okay? This would be your chance for a southern snowstorm again at that 18 to 20, 21 range that the models really, really, really like. But you can see here, I mean, Florida right now is, 15 degrees below average. You stay below average. You get a little bit of a warm up as you get into Saturday, and then you're back 20 degrees below average, 5 degrees below average. I mean, it's staying very cold down there. This is the Climate Prediction Center right here. This is their outlook through the 19th. This is their outlook through the 23rd. See all that blue down there, out east especially, and down in Florida? This is going to go down as one of the coldest Januaries you guys have had in quite a long time. I know people in Miami were like, oh, my God, it was in the 40s today. Closed school. And people up in North Dakota are like, yeah, it was negative 40 here. All right. Cincinnati, Ohio. Yeah, you guys are looking like you'll get 2 to 4 inches easily. Very easily. Comfortably. Yeah, I mean, Western Michigan isn't going to be getting really snow from the southern system. You guys have a low pressure system up there, and you guys have some good lake effect snow kicking in. Yeah, over on YouTube where there's not a lot of chat, you don't need to spam. I'm not answering every question because I'm looking at TikTok chat too. Does the red mean heavy or bad? I mean, the pink and purple here is heavier snow. Yeah. When you look at like a radar, a composite reflectivity, and you see the green, yellow, and red in the radar, that's just how high the cloud tops are. Typically, the higher the cloud tops, the heavier the downpours and the deeper the low pressure. So those are more severe systems. How about the Knoxville, Tennessee area? Yeah, I know people were in my chat in Knoxville yesterday saying that their local channel was saying they were going to see like a ton of rain. It was going to be an all rain event, and I think that's like almost impossible here. You guys are going to probably get at least a minimum of 2 to 3 inches. I would love to know if you ended up getting none, because I just don't think that's going to happen. But I'd be shocked if you guys saw a rain and sleet event like some people were saying. Stefan, I appreciate you. I just don't want my kids having a virtual learning day. Oh my gosh. Let me see. How long did it take you to learn all this? Hella impressed. Kyle, I appreciate that. Kyle, I had an extreme interest in weather since I was like 6 years old. But I went to school for it, Florida State, and then I studied it for like the last decade. I just love learning about it. I'm learning about weather every day. It's like the only thing if you went to my YouTube channel or any of my history on my computer, it's all weather. It's just all weather stuff. I think it's really interesting. I love keeping up to date with everything, not just on a macro or on a micro level, but on a macro level. You know, Enso cycles and MJOs and what's going on with our ocean temperatures and all sorts of stuff up in the atmosphere, troposphere, stratosphere. I think it's all super cool. It actually is cool if people actually. The more you know about it, the cooler it is. How much for northwestern Arkansas? It keeps changing. Yeah. Northwestern Arkansas is changing much less than a lot of these other states, though. Right now our latest HRRR, we can actually look at the O1Z for northwestern Arkansas, and this is going to easily give you the best look. This is easily going to be your most accurate look. O1Z. There you go. 5 to 7 inches. All right. 5 to 7 inches. Greensboro could easily see 3. I know it shows on here that it wants to give you guys 5, but 3 to 4. I think this is I'd say 3 to 4 is a safe bet for Greensboro, North Carolina. Any info about Louisville, Kentucky? We just had 10 inches of snow and over an inch of freezing. You sure you got 10 inches in Louisville? Thought it was a little less than that. Yeah, Louisville's looking like 3 to 4. On the high end, you'll get 5. 3 to 4 though. You're not gonna get ice with this. Don't worry. Little Shorty, DGS, and Venom. Venom, what's going on? How much snowfall do you think for Northwest Ohio? I'd want to at a certain range. I'd rather trust the HRRR. At that range, I'd rather go to this map. This is going to be your most accurate northwestern Ohio at that range. So, I think this is probably accurate. 3 to 4 inches. Let's see here, Lee. I appreciate you. Blue and white. Thank you for the rose. Shout out to Maddie if you're in the chat. Kelsey, let's see. Kelsey Brooke, Mary Rains. I appreciate you guys. I wish I could zoom in. Jen, where are you? I'm in Ohio too. Snow would be nice. Yeah, you'll be getting it. One second, guys. One second, guys. Jen, I'm going to lose your comment. I probably won't see it. It's going to fly by. Oh, no. I'll never know. Okay. Well. Owen, the only reason I would ever block anyone is if they were spamming in all caps with a bunch of symbols and I saw the spam like 10 times in 10 seconds. So I'll like people asking over and over again if it's not like obnoxious, all caps, like this deep spamming. it takes a lot for me to block stuff. So Owen, were you spamming? Because that's the only way. It's the only reason I would have. That's the only reason I haven't blocked a lot of people, honestly. Most of the time, I'm just like, whatever. Spam. North Georgia, yeah. So, again, we're within 12 hours in North Georgia. So, our HRRR 3K, this is going to be our best look in North Georgia, and I think it's doing a pretty good job with this. If we go back down, here, I'll go back. I'll actually go into Georgia here if it lets me. I think this is not a bad estimate for Georgia because this is within 12 hours on your HRRR. How much snow for southeast Kentucky near Tennessee and the Virginia border? Let's see. Oh, over here? Let's go into the Ohio Valley. U.S. regions, Ohio Valley. Up here, I'd actually probably like the Euro. I'm going to go to the Euro here. That's going to be a better guesstimate for you. 2 to 4? 2 to 3? 2 to 3? Let me see here. Hi, Daydream. Will the weather mess with my skinless body outside? What? What does that even mean? What is a good time to travel from northern Indiana, South Bend to Indianapolis tomorrow? There's not really a good time, but the good news is this is going to be more of a light. It's not going to be like extremely strong winds up here. It's not going to be icy. It's just going to be a nice, should be a nicer snowfall. Now, I know some people just still can't drive in even a casual snow, but the bad kind of stuff is going to be happening down here where you're getting mixing sleet and ice, and heavier winds are going to be down here associated closer to the low pressure as well. Mary Rains, Bad Stretch, Jen, I appreciate you guys. Let me see. Central Ohio, you got work in the AM. We could take a look at kind of, based on our last Euro, what we think our timing there is going to be. Yeah. Early afternoon on Friday. And basically it wants to snow all day until midnight Friday going into Saturday. But you guys aren't going to see like a heavy snow up there. You can get some accumulation because you're going to have a really good snow ratio. It's going to be very cold surface temperatures. You can get, that 10 to 1 where it's like an inch of rain, an inch of liquid turns into 10 inches of snow because it's very not very dense, very cold. Can you send more snow to southern Maryland? I cannot. I wish I could do stuff like that. One second, guys. All right. What about the Charlotte, North Carolina area? Darmar says, yeah, it is looking like 1 to 2 is your most likely scenario. Some models like more, some models like less. The NAM didn't want to put any snow into Charlotte tomorrow, and it was an outlier. We talked about that all day yesterday. I said the NAM is an outlier. And the NAM has adjusted and thinks at least a half inch to an inch now. So the NAM came back to where it's supposed to be, like we talked about yesterday. And HRRR and Euro agree on 2 to 3. I think that's on the high end. But those are two really good snow models, especially the HRRR within the 12-hour range. So 2 is possible. Why the fuck aren't you saying anything about Mississippi? All right, you can go. Because there's 1,300 people on my TikTok stream, and I'm one human being, and I can't answer everyone. I've been talking about every state. Baby Jake, I appreciate the sub. I was a lot more patient before, but some people are just so rude online, and there's just no reason to be rude. Spam and curse and be obnoxious. It's just like, come on, guys. Baby Jake, I appreciate the sub. Thank you. Diet Gravy, Baby Jake, Stretch, Redneck, Colby. I appreciate you guys. Rhonda, Foley. You're good, Kelly. Any predicted big snowstorms after this, Blake asked? Yeah, we were talking about it. Something between the 18th of January and the 21st, the GFS, Canadian, and Euro all want another big cold outbreak. We're going to have cold air out in the east for almost the rest of January. But want another big, pretty big trough with a strong low pressure system coming out of the Gulf. So I'd watch that. I would watch that. That would be going into next weekend. Yes, it would be like the time between next like Saturday and then that Tuesday would be something to watch. 18th to 21st, I'd watch that time frame. Ashley Malone, Cindy, looks positive out east. Thumb of Michigan, yeah. Oh, you're not really again associated too much with the system to the south, but yeah, I mean 3 to 4 looks like you could definitely get 3 to 4. I mean your Euro is going to do pretty good up there in this time frame. Western Kentucky, yeah, I'd rather you trust the her at this point there. So yeah, Western Kentucky 3 to 5 realistically. 3 to 4. Tab, I appreciate you. Any snow around New York City? You guys could get a dusting to a quarter inch, but not looking too great for Philly or New York City. I know, Chandler. Some people just want to be mean. Was in central Wisconsin last week. No snow. Made it home to Chattanooga just in time. Crazy, right? You go from Wisconsin to Tennessee, and there's going to be snow in Tennessee. Yeah. Shy, I appreciate that. Yeah. It's not that bad over on YouTube, but that's just because I have less people in the chat. The more people you have, there's always a chance you're going to have some bad apples in there trying to stir stuff up, but that's fine. I understand the internet trolls. Do you think flights will be canceled to Raleigh, North Carolina tomorrow? Delayed. Canceled. Well, yeah, there's a threat of ice, so it's a possibility. I would think it would be more into Saturday though. Really late flights, maybe flights that are coming in at like 10 p.m. Maybe after 8 p.m. could be canceled into Raleigh, and then maybe Saturday as well if you do end up getting a little bit more ice accumulation than expected. So I would say you should expect delays into Raleigh, though. Could Binghamton, New York, Binghamton, New York get any snow? You're going to get some light snow up there, maybe an inch. Nothing crazy. This isn't really a storm for us in the Northeast, unfortunately. What are the snow levels in Eastern Maryland? Again, if you got an inch or two, you'd be really lucky. This is not a mid-Atlantic northeastern snow event. What's chances of snow in South Louisiana? 0, unfortunately. Can you show the Northeast what's going on up there? Sure. We don't want to look at our HER for the Northeast, though. We want to look at our Euro. This is going to be a better projection for the Northeast on our Euro. So through Sunday. Local weatherman says we are getting a dusting, but everyone else says otherwise. Sup, you're in Eastern Tennessee? Stretch, and what's going on, Tad? Appreciate you guys. What will Oxford, Tupelo area in North Mississippi be getting? How far north in Mississippi is that? Oh, I see. Ooh, that's tight. That is gonna be tight. Let's go to our short range HRRR. Wow, our short range HRRR still likes maybe 2 inches Tupelo north. That's very close though. I think it's turning some of that sleet and mixing into snow. So I'd say if you get an inch and a half, you should feel lucky, just because I think a lot of that's going to be mixing and sleet. It's not going to be an actual accumulation. The models can't tell the difference sometimes. Hope and Christine and Tab, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. 1 second here. Are we going to be okay in Indiana? You're going to be just fine. This is not like a super dangerous winter storm for you guys up there. Winds aren't going to be crazy. Ice isn't expected. So 3+ inches in Dallas, Fort Worth. Is that what you guys got? I think yesterday I was consistently saying 2 to 5, 2 to 4, 3 to 5 for Dallas. I was saying I doubt you guys will get less than 2 inches, but I doubt you'll reach that 6 to 8 mark. And from what I've seen today, actually north of the city, I think they're getting a little more, but actually in especially in downtown Dallas, that's what it looks like it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know. I'm not there. That's what I've been seeing online. Tad, Will, and Dre. Tad, I appreciate you. Thank you, guys. And thank you for anyone who's followed or subbed. You guys are awesome. I'm gunning for that 100K followers on TikTok. I think I'm at like close to 88K. But I've really like started. I was streaming before like an hour at a time, and then I went to 2 hours, and now I'm at 3 hours. And then on the weekends I stream twice. It's fun for me. I would stream all day, every day if this was my full-time job. I actually enjoy doing this. But I got a kid, and I have another job that I work 40 to 50 hours a week. So I don't get to stream as much as I want. It's fun. It's like hard work, but it's fun, you know, if you like doing it. Sandy and Nate, I appreciate you. Asheville area. Yeah, I mean, Asheville, I would, 2 to 4 is the best, but there are some in the mountains. You get some of that natural lift, okay, and you can get some snow showers lingering in the mountains, kind of getting caught up in the mountains. You also get some natural lift as that cold and warm air runs into the mountains. That can be pushed up into the troposphere, and you can get some amplified snowfalls up there in the mountains. So, especially at elevation, when the temperatures are a little bit colder, you get a little bit better of a snow ratio. So, it's the mountain snow is almost the hardest snow in the world to predict, because your guys' totals can be all over the place because elevation changes a lot. And by the way, these maps were originally made to only read. Weather maps were originally made to assume everyone is at the 1,000 millibar level. Meaning that at 1,000 millibars, the pressure at the surface, and around 100 millibars of pressure at the top of the troposphere, at the tropopause. But you guys aren't at 1,000 millibars when you go up in elevation. You're getting down to 950, 900, 850, 800. And that completely throws off snow totals. And now these models do try to account for it, but it's so hard to account for elevation change with precipitation. So that's why in low elevation, I always say expect less than the model shows. But when you're in the mountains and high elevation, I think almost more times than not can outperform the models. That's where you have a better chance to outperform, because they're just bad at it. Wick, Tad, Angry, DT, Wick, I appreciate you guys. DT with like 200 roses. Can you please show the ice accumulation for Georgia? Yeah. Sorry, guys. For you guys on YouTube, I'm going back and forth in between TikTok and YouTube. So this is our latest HRRR, which isn't showing bad ice accumulation. I would account for our Euro, though. If we were to see an outcome like this would be a little bit sketchy for North Georgia, getting close to that. Not, Wickman and DT, I appreciate you guys. Christine, what's going on? This would not be, I would say, super, super, super severe. This could knock out power. This could cause a lot of accidents, a lot of delayed travel, and bring down some tree branches and stuff. Really, once you get creeping up to closer to 0.4 to a half inch of ice is where a bunch of bad stuff starts happening. So far the models aren't showing a crazy, crazy, crazy ice storm. I can tell you right now, if this low pressure were deeper, it's supposed to be about 1,005 as we move through here. If this low pressure if this trough was tilting going through here and we were getting down into like the 990s, we would see a much bigger, much bigger ice storm, because you would have a lot more warm air to the south and southeast of that low pressure system being pushed up into the mid and upper layers of the atmosphere, but you'd still have freezing air on the surface. That's what causes major ice storms. Because this trough isn't negatively tilting too intensely right there, you're not going to typically see as much ice. DT with the Galaxy. Oh my gosh. You guys are popping off in chat right now. I appreciate you. Spence, thank you. Redneck, Walker, I appreciate you guys. Tammy, DT, shout out DT. I appreciate you, man. Let me see. Kimber with the Galaxy. Dad, hippie DT. Kimber, I appreciate you. Thank you, Kimber. When will it hit Central Ohio? Yeah, the timing for that is kind of Friday afternoon, and then pushing through into really, really early Saturday. So Friday, I would guess you can see some precip start moving into Ohio around 12. We can kind of look at how our latest Euro treats that. It really wants to have the whole state of actual precip moving into western and southwestern Ohio at around 2 p.m. At around 2 p.m. Friday, and then that's going to be an event all the way until Saturday morning. Hippie, DT, Ryan, Spence. DT again. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Norfolk, Virginia. Oops. Okay, there. No, I don't want Norfolk, North Carolina. I know where Norfolk, Virginia is, but I want to. Sometimes it's hard to tell on your weather belt maps which number is being used for it. Although I don't think you're gonna have. I don't think you're gonna have. What the heck? Hold up, guys. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. One second, guys. Oh, you guys are in a good spot. We've been looking at that southeastern Virginia quite a bit. We have been looking at that southeastern Virginia area quite a bit. I would still use the Euro in that location. I think you're right outside of a good HER model range. So I'll show you that super quickly in Norfolk. See, this is interesting how this might actually look weird, but it's actually not that weird because your low is going to be here. So this is going to be your warm air pushing in, and this is going to be your cold air behind it. So there's a very small. That's why there's a very small strip of snow that wants to fall in southern Virginia and through the Norfolk area. Why is that so hard for me to say? So that's why it's showing somewhere between 1 to 4, most likely 2 to 3 inches. And I think actually our HER sees the same exact thing, if I'm not mistaken. If we go back to our 00Z, it does. Wants a little bit more, actually, but I think your most likely scenario is going to be 2 to 3. HER wants a little bit more there. Let me see here. Kimber with another galaxy. Oh my gosh. Kimber, thank you. Holy crap. Monica, CJ, I appreciate you guys. Kimber, thank you. Shout out Kimber. Let me see. I missed some. I'm missing a lot of questions. I'm trying my best. These some big words, brother. Oh lordy. Let me see here. Yeah, the systems can get expensive. Radar Omega's the best. Yeah, Pivotal Weather isn't bad too. You can see a lot of stuff on Pivotal Weather for free. A lot of weather models. How much snow in Central Arkansas? I mean, Central Arkansas looks crazy. You know, it's gonna be 6+ in most of Central Arkansas. So I mean, down to the exact inch. You know, these are big. These are big totals. 7 to 8 probably most likely. Some of these models do want to get you to 9 to 10. It's not impossible. When will it start snowing in West Virginia and how much? What's our timeline for West Virginia? So same with the Ohio, 2 p.m. Friday, and then it's going to start snowing throughout the day. You know, this isn't super heavy precip in West Virginia, but you've got a low to the north and a low to the south, and this is gonna put some interesting snow bands through here, some heavy snow bands. So someone's gonna get lucky and get more than they asked for. It does want in low elevations of West Virginia 1 to 2, high elevations up to 7. I think we'd probably be up to 5, 6. Appreciate the follows and subs, guys. Thank you. CJ and Bridge, appreciate you. Any possibility of snow in the low country of South Carolina? You know, it depends how low. I think you might get a little more snow than the HRRR thinks right here. I think the Euro might win on this one. But yeah, I mean, the chances for snow down here are very low. There's not just warm air pulling in, trying to mix off the Gulf, but also off the Atlantic down here, and this is going to be that's going to be a target for ice. Unfortunately, ice and sleet. If you get enough sleet, it'll cool the ground, and then stuff will start sticking. The sleet will start sticking like snow. So, how much snow for Randolph County, Alabama? I do not know where Randolph County is. What about for San Antonio, Texas? Possibly of snow tonight? No possibility of snow tonight. When is it supposed to snow? Let me see here. East Tennessee. Yeah, I know East Tennessee. Everyone's getting worried out there because there's been talk of Snow just not falling, but that's no. You guys should be good. You guys should be good with accumulation. 1 to 3 inches minimum in East Tennessee. You're not going to be. This isn't going to be a huge rain. I mean, you're going to see maybe some rain and sleet, especially on the back end, but not on the front. On the front end, you're not going to see too much. Maybe a tiny bit of rain on the front end, but not much. When is it going? When is it going to get 8 to 9 inches? Wait, what? When is going 8 9 inches? Wait. Central Arkansas? Yeah, that's realistic. Central Georgia? Yeah. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. I mean, south of Atlanta is gonna be super hard to get any snow. You could get a tiny bit in Atlanta. Some of our models still do want to bring a dusting to it, a 1/4 inch. I'd say inch if you get very lucky, but the dusting's most likely down there. Models have someone's asked in Charlotte, North Carolina. Models have trended east. They all have Charlotte getting 2 to 3. I would say 1 to 2, especially looking at our national blended models, which is a very good model. Takes every single model into account. You can see it right here. So that has 1.5 inches. This is a conservative model, but it's a good model. This is why they consider one of your best models to look at, because it's not going to go crazy. It takes the craziest models and the models that show no snow. It averages them all out together and shoots out something that actually does really, really good. So for any of you out here, this is kind of what the National Blend thinks is left to fall, by the way. We're waiting on another update though. Josh Garrett, appreciate you. Okay, so I've answered like over 100 questions. Let me quickly, guys, I'm just going to go region to region since everyone wants to know about specific cities, states, and counties. And it's impossible for me to answer all of you. So I'm going to really quickly go through South Central, Southeast, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, Northeast. Let me just take 1 second break, and we're going to break it down each section. So hopefully for people who can't see the numbers and stuff like that, I can break it down for what's most likely. I think the HRRR, I think we're going to roll with our HRRR 3K. This is going to be our best model right here. So this is your 3 kilometer model. That's what the 3K stands for. And it's a high resolution rapid refresh model. So it's constantly scanning. So it's very, very good in the short range. So we'll start with this down here, and then we're going to switch over to our Euro. Those are going to be your most, and then the National Blend. Those are going to be your most accurate totals. So you guys can stop worrying about the weather app throwing you all over the place with totals. Listen, I was right about Dallas. We have a good start for my projections because the NAM disappeared snow from here 2 days ago, and I said the NAM was wrong. The snow will come back, and as we know, we did have some snow in Dallas, Fort Worth, and up to the Northeast. So, and I think my projection was 3 to 5, and I think we got 3 to 5 down there in Dallas. So it's a good start. We'll have to see how the projections are moving forward, but we're gonna go and look across the entire country. Let me take a sip of this. Just right now in Dallas? Yeah, it was never supposed to be an entire snow event down there. Not that far in the south. Kelly, you're putting in work. Okay. Here's our best model for what's going on down here in south. This is even our O2. So here's what it thinks is still to fall. A possibility of another maybe inch falling in Dallas. Now, I know there's some rain falling, guys, but you need to understand you need to understand what's going on. There's going to be a little more snow that wraps in. So let's go back here. Let's go. We can actually kind of take a look here. So there should be some snow wrapping back into Dallas. You guys were in a little bit of rain and sleet. I don't know if you guys can see that on Radar Omega. So I would be first if you guys in Dallas are literally saying it's just raining right now and it's not even sleet, that would actually surprise me. It could be very wet snow, like mixing. I would expect it to be or sleet, but not like not warm, raindrops. But we are, if we do go to our composite reflectivity, let me show you guys on this really quickly. If we were to go to our composite, I'm going to go up the country right now. If we were to go to our composite reflectivity and look at our latest HRRR, O2Z, you can see what happens here. Let's get up here to our latest one. you can see what happens here. There's a little bit of rain, sleet into Dallas, and then watch what happens on the back end. You get almost all snow on the back end. Not going to be much, but there's cold air tucked in behind the system. So this is warm air here. That's why you have rain. This is warm air being rotated up, and then you have cold air being rotated in behind it. So you can go through a little pocket of rain or sleet and then turn back into snow. Let's start going over what our most likely totals are moving forward, because everyone wants questions about individual areas. He's DT, Harris, Josh, Kurt, Servian? I don't know how to pronounce that. I hope I did it right. Josh, Tab, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for the follows. Thank you guys for the subs. Okay. Here's what's yet to come. Eastern, Oklahoma, 3 to 5. Now, I would probably say that this is going to be more like 1 to 3, just because most of the snow is... This is lagging a little bit behind. This model's lagging a little bit behind, but snow's still falling there. Dre, I appreciate it. Central Arkansas, 5 to 8 inches. Very likely. Southern Arkansas is going to struggle. You guys are still in a lot of that sleet in mixing down there. I think you could actually outperform with the HRRR things here. I think you could get, again, a little bit of snow on the back end. It wouldn't be impossible to maybe get a ½ inch down here as the low pressure moves by and starts to wrap. Missouri, central to southern Missouri, St. Louis and south is going to have the best opportunity to see a 2 to 5 inch day. Some of this up here may not make it as far north, although if it does, you have a good snow ratio the farther north you get because it's colder. With colder air, the snow is a lot less dense, so you'll see some surprising totals. Southern Indiana isn't a terrible place to be either. This is your O2Z. This is going to be actually like pretty accurate. Southern Indiana, 1 to 3 inches. Farther south you get, likely 3 to 4. And then this is interesting with what it's doing with northern Mississippi. Super sharp cutoff snow line. I don't think you're going to have this sharp of a cutoff. So I don't think it's impossible to see a little bit of snow south of this. I would also take these totals down and make it more like 1 to 3. 1 to 3. Not this 3 to 5 that we have in northern Mississippi. Again, it doesn't do well with seeing sometimes it thinks mixing and sleet is accumulating when it's not. So you have to be careful with southern snow and what you're guesstimating it to be, as well as freezing rain. It can just do a bad job with that. All right, let's move out east. Let's see here. So we're still going to use the 12K all the way out to basically Atlanta. I think this is pretty good estimated for northern Alabama. Again, being down here, even though it wants to give you a, let's say, 2 to 3 inch snow, I think you want to go with 1 to 2 up here because some mixing and sleet down here in the south. You're not going to have the issue. You could outperform up here in the north because you have a good snow ratio, and none of that's going to be mixing. You're going to have it's not going to be a bunch of different precipes. So you're going to do a little bit better up there. Our 00Z actually shows that more of a 2 to 5. I still think 1 to 3 is most likely. Atlanta thinks an inch. Again, with mixing, sleet, I think you guys may end up with just a dusting to a 1/4 inch. So, and then up here, it wants a widespread 2 inches. I'd expect 1 inch. It's the issue in the south. Freezing rain. It's not really accounting for freezing rain and sleet when it's showing you that snow total. So most of Tennessee, including eastern Tennessee, almost all of Tennessee. I would say all of Tennessee. I wouldn't expect you to have a problem getting a good coating on the ground. I know there's some gaps in the HRRR that want to put, in valleys that want to put no snow. But I think you're all going to get an accumulation. So maybe parts of eastern and southeastern Tennessee only get an inch, but no one's going to not see like a nice layer of snow on the ground in Tennessee. Obviously, the majority of Tennessee is going to see a good, I don't want to say 4 to 6. We'll say 3 to 5 inches, and some of you will outperform on that and get some big totals. So we'll go to the Euro because I think the Euro is going to do better from this point. HRRR is really good within 12 hours. The Euro and HRRR do agree between one, and the National Blend agree between 1.5 to 2.5 in Charlotte, all the way up to Raleigh. That's a really good agreement to have the HRRR Euro and the National Blend models seeing the same type of thing. That is a really good agreement. It would be very surprising if you didn't see some good snow through Charlotte up to Mooresville, Statesville, Greensboro, Durham, Raleigh. But with the snow line like this, it's always possible when it's this sharp of a cutoff, which it will be with rain down here. And again, with some sleet and some snow potentially mixed in. So that's why I want to cautious people on some of the higher ends that are staying out here. Maybe move it down to 1 or 2 for a lot of you guys. Yeah, mountains. Mountains, you guys are going to be good. 2 to 5 for most of you, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone saw a shocking like 6 inches, maybe up near the mountains, up near Boone, something like that. Kentucky, you're solid between 2 to 4 widespread. Someone's going to outperform because you're going to have a great snow ratio. Again, this whole region getting between 2 to 5. Ohio Valley is really realistic. Someone's going to outperform, and that includes central to southern Illinois, pretty much all of Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky. Someone's going to outperform that 2 to 5 inches because you're going to have or 2 to 4 inches because you're going to have a big a good snow ratio up there. It's going to be sticking. You've got a lot of cold air at the surface there right now. Everyone out there knows what I'm talking about. It's very cold out there right now. So you're going to get sticking right away, and that's really going to help accumulate quickly. Again, southern, south, and eastern Virginia, I think even though this looks like an anomaly, it's not an anomaly. This is the snow tucked just to the north of the low pressure system. So it's likely to happen. We could see that expanding into central Virginia as well. Up towards in West Virginia, again, I would put you in the Ohio Valley, even though you're not included in the Ohio Valley, but same thing as them. Up towards the Mid-Atlantic. This is going to be your best look. Our latest Euro run. Again, a dusting to an inch is possible for anyone up here on Saturday. We'll see how the band's set up. You've got a low pressure to your north, a low pressure to your south. Sometimes you get some good energy moving through that region. So, but, no big snow outbreak. Again, Pittsburgh, you're going to have a lot of lake effect snow out here with the low pressure sitting to the north that wants to drag lake effect snow in really far into western Pennsylvania. And you're going to have some good snow ratios. That's why I think western Pennsylvania some of that snow could get amplified from that low to the north. And we could see some 1 to 3 inches of snow through that whole region. So I don't think that's a bad look there. But anyways, that is what is going on. So let me get back to chat. I know a bunch of people are going to now still ask me about specific areas. That's fine because not everyone's been in here. But that's kind of the latest of what's going on there. Go back into the Ohio Valley. This is your national. We'll take a look. We'll watch the Euro for now. A little bit ass. I said ass. Ashley. SRH. Common. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Dre. He's got game. Grant, Walker, DT. I know I missed a bunch of people up there. Harris, thank you guys. When it freezes down here, the alligators poke their nose just above the water and get a frozen place. And get frozen place. Oh my gosh. I didn't skip Maryland. Oh, you're saying so it skips Maryland? Kind of. It starts to break apart up there near the coast. We have a piece of energy to the north that's kind of going to flatten our system to the south. So unfortunately, yeah. If this trough had began negatively tilting a little bit earlier around here, around the Tennessee Valley, we would see big snow for Maryland, Mid-Atlantic, and New England coast. But it's starting to kind of amplify and negatively tilt as soon as it moves off the eastern seaboard. So it's a little bit frustrating. That's what happens a lot of times, but not always. Is this accurate snowfall totals for Memphis, Tennessee? I would say your best model to look at for Memphis, Tennessee, based on how long it is until we see snowfall, there's going to be right here is going to be your O2Z of the HRRR, which thinks 7 inches. I would say 5 to 6. It's definitely possible in Memphis. That'd be a nice one. Addison, I appreciate you. Addison and Goddess Giselle Gigi. Could East Tennessee get more snow than 3 inches? It could. You could outperform in East Tennessee. It's not impossible. Yeah. 3 to 5 widespread. Looking likely. Yep, Kelly. How much will Anchorage get? Alaska? We're looking at how much Alaska's going to get. I want to see. Oh. Really quickly. Here's what's going on up in Alaska. Just through Monday. You guys see, you guys know what these totals are in here? 30 to 40 inches of snow. Making our snow down here in the lower 48 look silly. A lot of this is up in the mountains, though, that heaviest snow. So, and that's what you get up there. 2018, Tommy. I appreciate you. Let's see here. So nothing. Where? Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, I know this model wants to put 3 inches up into Chicago. What's our national blend looking like? 1.4. Yeah, I guess 2 inches isn't impossible into Chicago. Start seeing that snow accumulation. Yeah, around midday Friday. Early. Well, not even midday. It would be much earlier than that. Early morning. It's a good model to look at. National blend out to Monday. Real question is, how much is Dayton, Ohio getting? You know, the entire state of Ohio. Here, let's go in here. The entire state of Ohio wants to see a solid 2 to 4, depending on where you are. I'm getting text messages. Y'all get Winnie Hut Jr. numbers. Yeah, Kyle. How much could Boston get Saturday? And not, you guys aren't expecting much up there in the Northeast. A half inch isn't impossible, but you guys aren't expecting. Yeah, it's not really your storm. How much? I'm a manager in I can never say Chattanooga. I want to say Chattanooga, but it's Chattanooga. I feel like you need to have a southern accent to say Chattanooga. Like, how do you like Chattanooga? I feel like that's just made for people with southern accents. Yeah, I mean this model likes 3.8 into Chattanooga, but 12 HRRR 3 kilometer, which is going to be a pretty good model, is being a little sketchy on Chattanooga. So saying 2 to 3 is very realistic for you guys. You got your HRRR and Euro pretty close. I like when I see that consensus, especially on those 2 models. Southern PA is going to be skipped this time. That's what my weather app says. Can I trust it? Yeah, Southern PA is not going to get much. Western, out near Pittsburgh to the south, you might get a little bit of accumulation, but yeah. Sometimes the weather apps do good. Sometimes I look at my weather app and I'm like, it's wrong. I know it's wrong. I always take screenshots when I know my weather app's wrong, and I show my wife and I tell her what I think is going to happen, just so when it does happen, I can tell her why I don't trust the weather app. It's like a thing I do. I send it to my friends too. I'll be like, look at what this says. Now, here's what's actually going to happen, just to show them that the weather app can be very wrong sometimes. But sometimes I look at my weather app and go, oh, damn. That's exactly what, because you can just tell sometimes that it's going off the GFS, or it's going off the NAM, or it's going off a model that it shouldn't be. And you're like, that's like the least likely outcome. Why would it show that to everyone in the region on their phones? Gavin, Lex, Sword, Pigeon, Jake, T. I appreciate you guys. 1.5K load, so I came here to ask Philly. I still don't answer all the questions on YouTube because I have to try to give more attention to TikTok because I have less in YouTube. But I do. I think your odds of getting your question answered over there is better. You came here for Philly. It's not an listen. I live near Philly, and I was really looking forward to getting some good snow. It's not looking great for Philly. On the high end, Philly could get another inch of accumulation for this, but I honestly would expect a trace to a half inch. You get weird snow bands setting up sometimes that do weird, freaky things. Yeah, it's just not looking fantastic for us there, unfortunately. Gavin, Matt, Kimberly, I appreciate you. 19,000 without power in Texas currently. Not surprised. These winter storms knock out power much easier in the south where they're not used to it. Did I miss Charlotte, North Carolina? Charlotte's looking promising for 1 to 2 inches. There are models that say 3 to 4. I would be cautious believing those. They're not accounting for mixing and sleet. 1 to 2 inches, I think, is very realistic in Charlotte. Yeah, very realistic in Charlotte. That's what I would go by. Let's see here. 1 second, guys. 1 second, guys. I was talking to my friend Maddie about this, and I was talking to my friend Maddie about let's see, November 11th, 2024. Connor, what's up? is it going to snow in Charlotte this year? I said, yeah, you should get at least one good snowstorm. This pattern is looking a lot like the 2020-21 La Nina, where Charlotte got a couple snowstorms. Would it be in December? No, likely January. Second week of January. It does look like our 2021 year. That's why I think you guys are going to get another snowstorm in the south after this. Teleconnections are looking similar. Troughing pattern through the end of January looks very familiar. I think it's a good outlook for the south and the southeast for another snowstorm. So if you missed this, I'm not too worried about you guys getting another one. Tommy, Jess, Yolanda, Jarrett, Matt. I can't promise it, but it looks good. I would bet the over for sure in a heartbeat. Missy and Tommy, I appreciate you guys. We were talking about that earlier. We'll go over what I think could be next. Between the 18th and 21st, someone might get snow again in the south, even though the models aren't showing it yet. I think the trough is so far south. It needs to account for that. My kids live in South Central Indiana. I am retired and live in Florida. How much South Central? 2 to 4. Very likely. 2 to 4 is your good range there. What do you think? Will it snow in Lawrence County? I don't know where these counties are. Little Angel and Jess, I appreciate you. I even tried to look it up, and I still can't find it. I even tried to look up Lawrence County, Georgia, and I can't find it. Although I'm probably spelling Lawrence wrong, guys. English was not my best. I was not the best at language arts and English when I was in school. I was very good at math and science. I'm dyslexic. Park City, Utah. What are we thinking out here? What are we thinking out here over in the Rockies? Let's look at what our 00Z for the HRRR is thinking moving forward here. Some good snow into the mountains of Utah. Our Euro. You guys got some snow, some good snow coming in here. We'll push out here towards. I mean, okay, snow. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty good event that wants to start accumulating on Saturday. That's a decent looking event on Saturday for all the ski resorts out there. Yeah, Park City would get in on that, potentially a good amount of snow, 6 inches or more. Jess and Anders, I appreciate you. Is the new radar out yet? You said a new update comes out at 10:30, right? Yeah, but that's the GFS. The GFS is like, but it is fun actually to see what. Yeah, the GFS is loading now. The GFS actually wants to put more snow into Maryland and Delaware, and a little more snow into Philly, though. But the GFS is not like a great model to go off short range, but it still looks promising when you see something like that. Not actually a bad look for you guys. New York, yeah, New York's mainly going to be seeing lake effect snow out in upstate New York. You could get a trace to an inch and a half through the rest of the state, including over towards New York City and Long Island, but it would likely be a trace or up to a half inch. We're not expecting big numbers up there. You can see it right here. Not expecting big numbers up there, but I'll show you. This is going to be interesting to watch the GFS load, guys, because the GFS Euro and Canadian think we may have a big snowstorm putting itself together again for the southeast and the east. Moving into next weekend. And I know people want to go, oh, that's too far. Don't start talking about that. The storm we just had pushed through the Central Plains off the East Coast. We were talking about it 10 days before because we had 4 global models agreeing. Now, you don't know how much snow is going to fall and exactly where it's going to go, but when you see 4 global models seeing the same troughing pattern, you can bet someone's getting snow. This storm right here, I think I had a post on my TikTok talking about it quite a while ago. We saw this pretty far out, over a week out. So, yes, you can easily see snowstorms over a week out. Easily. It's very difficult to see the exact path they're going to take and the snow accumulations they're going to drop. And I'm telling you, at the end of next weekend, we're seeing some more snow out east. So, who's going to be getting that snow? How far that trough wants to dig at the end of next weekend, it's a possibility to get You know, the GFS had a model putting snow as far south as back down into the Florida Panhandle next weekend. I highly doubt that's going to happen, but the possibilities are pretty wide considering how amplified that trough looks to be and the model consensus we have about 8 to 9 days out from now. So we'll see. It's a fun period to watch. I'm telling you, these next 2 weeks are not going to be quiet. We'll say that for the East. And the Rockies are going to start looking a little better too. And I think the northern and central plains as well, or the northern plains. Persephone. Hannah, I appreciate you guys. How much snow will southeast Tennessee get? Yeah, I mean, 1 to 3 inches is looking likely. I know some models are showing you missing out on snow. I highly doubt that. Hannah, Mystery, Diamond, I appreciate you guys. Northern Indiana, you can see right here. I think that's accurate. I'd say 2 to 4. You're gonna have a good snow. When you have very cold temperatures, you can actually end up when you're in the possibility of getting a 10 to 1 snow ratio, which is when you have definitely widespread below freezing temperatures on the surface and aloft, which you probably do have up in northern Indiana. You could actually see more than 4 inches potentially in some areas because of that good snow ratio. Jay, I appreciate you. Edward Fisher. Wow. That's funny. Edward's my brother's name. Fisher's my middle name. Great name. Let's see here. Are you guys going to the hospital? The roads are going to be bad. Maybe you're talking to someone else. Dallas. Jake Paul. Who do you want me to? I'm sure that's the real Jake Paul. What do you want to know about Dallas? I mean, the event's kind of starting to slow down for Dallas. You're going to get potentially another inch on the back end, though, as this cold air moves in on the back end. I think you're going to turn back into snow and get a little bit on the back end. It just started snowing here in Memphis. Thanks for the update. Oh, yeah, look at our, we can see right here. You do have snow that is beginning to move into Memphis. It's all downhill from here, or uphill if you like snow. We'll call it uphill. Yeah. There it is. Some big snow bands are just starting to enter Tennessee. Tennessee, you have officially left go. So, interesting. You do have some slight snow bands moving into northern Alabama as well. So it's getting over there, guys. St. Louis, you're next. St. Louis could have some heavy snow bands moving in within the next few hours as well. It looks like we already got some good snow bands potentially moving. Columbia, Missouri actually looks like a pretty heavy snow band. Jefferson City, might probably snow in there as well for you guys. I don't really like to look at this. I'm looking at Radar Omega right now. I actually would rather look at reflectivity like this because this is actually where you're going to see your bigger snow bands. So Memphis, just to the south of you, there's a very, very, very heavy band of snow that's going to be, heavy band of precipitation that's going to be snow as it moves through. That could drop a ton down. Where you see these yellows here, these are very high cloud tops. That's a lot of precipitation. That looks like, what the heck? Oh, I thought that said marijuana. I was like, marijuana, Arkansas? All right. And yeah, there's a very, very heavy band of snow going through Columbia, Missouri. I would already tell you that they're probably just going to overproduce just because of this band of snow that's moving into Columbia, Missouri. That's a very, very heavy, very, very heavy band. If anyone's in Columbia, Missouri, go outside and let me know what you see. FEMA's coming to save you. Just like the government said they're paying for the wildfire recovery. They said the federal government said we will pay for this full wildfire recovery. Like we would, I don't know why they said it. Like we didn't already expect them to. Hello. Do you know how much we pay in taxes? Yeah, you'll pay for it, right? Like what did you think that the community was going to pay for it? After giving you half of our money every year. Like, thanks for the update, federal government. We know you're going to pay for the recovery. I like how they put out that statement. Of course, Walter Florence. Oh my gosh, I didn't see that up there. Hillbilly. Edward. I didn't see any of that. The Rob, Leanne. Sorry if I missed anyone. Mystery. Wow, I just can't. Rob Florence, Leanne. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for the follows and the subs, guys. Toledo, Ohio. Ohio's the easiest forecast ever. I mean, Ohio wants a widespread 2 to 4. There's not a drastic look anywhere because what you're getting up here from this storm, guys, is a very, let's see what our latest GFS says out here. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so frustrating, guys, because this is what we've been the GFS almost won on this one. This is what we were talking about as we get closer in time. I want you guys to notice what's happening with our low pressure, okay? Really quickly. Our low pressure right here is a 1,007 millibar low pressure. Okay, so whatever. It's good enough to get you some precip. Watch what happens as it moves off the coast. We get to 1,004. We get to 995, 991, 983. Okay, this is what we call a bombing out low. This thing, if this kind of, it really starts to tilt the trough and bomb out right here. If that happens right here, literally that close, this is huge snow all through this region. And it's happening just off the coast. The GFS was so close to getting that look right. The Euro never had this thing tilting like that. Even the Euro has it tilting now, but just off the coast. Oh. Now, I will tell you this. If we see the Euro come in and start to negatively tilt that trough just off the coast as well, we may see a little bit heavier snow totals for the DMV and Philly and parts of southern, and parts of southern to central New Jersey. I don't know why I couldn't say that word. I live right next to it. So that's why, you know, the odds that we see really a ton more snow in these projections moving forward in the mid-Atlantic are low, but seeing this tilt, you know, maybe the Euro does see that tilt, and it tilts just close enough to put another 1 to 3 inches down in that region that we didn't expect. We'll have to see. That's going to be close. They're saying more like 3 inches in Knoxville, Tennessee. I like the conservative total. Eastern and southeastern Tennessee, well, southeastern Tennessee looks like it's going to be close, but I like that conservative total for Knoxville. Yeah, we want the tilt. That's right. We want the tilt. That's right. I live in Louisville, Kentucky. One second. My TikTok's screaming at me, guys. Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah, all of Kentucky is a 2 to 4 range. Some of you are going to outperform and get 5+ inches, though. You guys are very cold. You could get a good snow ratio out through Kentucky. It's definitely I'm guaranteed someone's going to see way more than they asked for in Kentucky. This latest GFS shows some pretty good. It's not just like that. You don't have the heaviest bands, but it's a pretty wide swath of snow as well through Kentucky. Large can Hillbilly, Alyssa, and Leanne. I appreciate you guys. I want a blizzard 78. Yeah, I want that 93 super blizzard again. Let's see. Kara, I don't know if you're still in here. I can predict. I was wondering about Nashville or Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Everyone is expecting 7-8 inches, and the models are showing 2. Yeah, no, I would not expect 7 to 8 inches. But if you're anywhere around Nashville, Tennessee, I would say 3 to 5 is your most likely. I'd say 2 is an underestimate. 3 to 4 if you want to be really safe, but 3 to 5 around there. Which is a lot of times that's what happens when you're trying to read these totals. Take the low end, take the high end, and the middle number always works out. Not always, because like the NAM wanted 0 inches of snow into a lot of into anywhere, Charlotte and out west, and I don't think 0 inches is a possible. I mean, it's a possibility, but it's a very low probability. So sometimes if you see an outlier model, you just throw it away. If you have a consensus through the rest of your models. Appreciate the follows and subs, guys. Where do you get these numbers? There's a bunch of different things we're looking at. Listen, if we're looking at in the short range, this is on Weather Belt. It's kind of an expensive subscription, but I do this, so I pay for it. This is your HRRR 3K. So this is your 3 kilometer model, and this is a high resolution rapid refresh model. It's constantly scanning, and it's scanning in a small area, meaning every 3 kilometers on this map, it'll give another reading. So that's why if you look at a map like, say, we look at like the Canadian, which is it's very bulky. We'll go back here. Look how kind of smudged and bulky it is. Like you can even look down here at the bottom. Let me get back over here. But your NAM is a really good short range model because it gets down really to the nitty gritty details. If you were to go from that and then you were to look at your HRRR and watch how it reads this area down here, it's much. You see the sharp edges on here. It really, really gets down to very specific totals, and it scans constantly as the event happens, so you don't have to wait another 6 hours for a model update. So once you typically get within 12 hours, your HRRR does really good. Outside of that, the Euro is really great with snow. And sometimes in the South, like I was saying before, the GFS saw the snow event before the Euro. The South, the GFS does really good. And you just have to know what models are probably going to end up with the best outcome. National Blended Models is also a great model to look at. Takes all of them into account and averages it out for you. Allison, Kimberly, Jean. Kimberly, I appreciate you guys. National Weather Service, seeding the clouds. They have nothing better to do. I don't think so. Cope, I appreciate you. What will north central Kansas look like? Deer season is ending. North central Kansas is not supposed to get much. You could get an inch if you're lucky. But very cold temperatures moving in after this. Very, very, very below average temperatures. That's for sure. Yeah, Memphis still looks like it's going to be one of the models, be one of the areas that overperforms. Memphis could really see a decent amount of snow. You've got snow moving in right now. Someone just told me, and we looked at the map. You do. You definitely do. I really want, actually here, let's just let that load through there. Atmosphere is volatile in the south. Yeah, when you get around a lot more heat, a lot more energy down there, you can get some weird stuff with these southern snowstorms. So let me see. Ice shows us pink, snow is gray and blue. Well, when we look at typically on here, so I'll go to the ice model. Freezing rain, that's all ice. That's all ice. This is probably your best model to look at for this, because you actually, when it comes to ice, you want to look at the model that gives you the highest projection, because that you want to prepare for that, and it's a possibility. The Euro is a good model for this too. Ice accumulation is extremely hard to calculate, because for ice accumulation, you need to know basically the temperatures in all layers. If upper atmosphere, middle atmosphere are warm, bottom atmosphere is cold, below freezing, you get ice. For snow, all you need to know is it cold from the surface to the ceiling, basically, all the way up to the tropopause. It's easy to tell if you're going to get snow. Is it warm from the ceiling to the floor, like I always say? That's going to be rain. But is it warm up above you and cold at the surface? It's harder to tell. It's really hard to account for how much ice is going to fall. You rarely get very, very severe ice events when you don't have a negatively tilting trough, because you need that crazy kind of lift and warm-cold air interaction to separate your air boundaries mid to high and low latitude. So, or not low latitude, to separate your temperatures in your lower, middle, and upper atmosphere. So this trough is going to be neutrally tilted as it moves off the coast. So you typically don't get huge ice storms with this. So I actually think the Euro's I don't think you're going to see this much ice. It's just not typical with a neutrally tilted trough. So, but you should treat it like you could see up to a quarter inch, which is still pretty dangerous. So you still want to over prepare in these areas, because if you don't prepare at all, and if you have a fuel heated house, you don't have any fuel, you don't have any bottled water, you lose power, you can't get on the roads, you can end up in a really sketchy situation in an ice storm. Ice storms are a lot more violent than people understand who haven't been in a significant one. There we go. But yeah, on this map right here, the pink is actually heavy snow, because there's a map just for that, just for the ice, that we can look at. Pink's the heaviest snow, yeah. Let's see here. 1 second, guys. Allison, Kimberly, Jean, Kimberly, Copa, Kimberly, Nathan, Eric. I appreciate you guys. Can you talk about Central West Virginia, please? Thanks for doing this. Yeah, no problem. What are we looking at right now? We're looking at the Euro. Yeah, the Euro is going to be our best guess here. So there's a possibility that some areas, low-lying areas in West Virginia, actually don't see any snow or just get a dusting. Most of West Virginia is going to see somewhere between 2 to 4 inches likely. High elevations obviously going to see more. You can see the Euro doesn't like snow on this eastern side, and I kind of agree. I think some of it's going to get trapped up in the Appalachian Mountains. But if you're on that, if you're up in the mountains or over there to the west in West Virginia, I think you're going to be fine. You're going to see a decent accumulation from the system. Ralph, Kanquay, Bimo, A Bimakenkwe, a live your hold up truth. Live your truth. I said live your truth. What am I doing, guys? Yeah, no problem, Tape. Southern Arkansas, yeah, you know, the best model that we can look at that's going to be the most accurate for Southern Arkansas is going to be our 03Z. 03Z of the Her, and it's looking dicey down here. You are going to get sleet, and you are going to get mixing, and accumulation is possible here, even though it doesn't show it. Because of that, you can get your ground temperatures cooled enough, and you may get some on the back end as well. So you can see this on the back end. You see none down there, and on the back end, you start to get a little bit of accumulation down in southern Arkansas. Quarter inch up to an inch potentially, but it's going to be very hard. I think that's going to be a lot of mixing and sleet, unfortunately, for you guys. Hey, Rebecca, Tiffany, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for the subs and follows. I never can see what my subs are at on YouTube. I still haven't fixed it, and it's still not fixing it in my chat on here. Let's see here. Zach Carlson, Liver Truth, Vicky, Vicky, I appreciate you. What's St. Louis, Missouri looking like? Yeah, this is a pretty. Most models do agree on 2 to 4 inches into St. Louis. I think that's good. St. Louis is very close to getting snow moving in as well. Couple hours. Central Alabama, not looking too great. Although Central Alabama's never looked too great. There were some models that came out. The GFS had a model, and so did the Her that like brought snow really far into Central Alabama, but I just never saw that as an option. Again, they were taking the sleet and mixing and making it snow totals, so you can kind of see where it wants snow in Alabama. It wants snow kind of starting, I guess you would say, along the line of Gadsden over to Jasper and north. Birmingham is going to be really tough to see snow accumulation. It's not impossible with this system, but it's going to be tough. Heavy snow bands. About to move into Memphis, it looks like. Wentzville is getting some decent snow. Columbia, Missouri. A little bit of snow flurries moving into St. Louis right now. Obviously, all our states over here, some of the heaviest snow is about to move. Some of the heaviest snow is about to move into Little Rock. Probably your best snow per hour. Theresa, Tiffany, Dusty, Heather, Josh. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I think Chicago will get 2 to 3. I think that's very hopeful. Look at the NWS graph from the Chicago area right now. It's at 1 to 2, and I think it will go to 2 to 3. Yeah, I don't really look at the National Weather Service map because they're pulling info here, and I just they are hit and miss too. We can look up here. You know, you're almost in a range where your HRRR is going to do pretty good through there. So this wants about 2 inches. Your Euro is probably your best look for up there right now. It almost agrees exactly with the HRRR, which is another good sign. The HRRR like wants 2.3 and the Euro wants 2.4. And if you go to your conservative model, your national blend, it wants 1.4. So I in my opinion, the most likely outcome, it doesn't mean it's going to be the outcome. The most likely outcome is 2 inches. Heather, Josh, Jimmy, Katina, and Trey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thunder snow coming. That'd be fun. My AccuRite weather station is on the blink. Stuck at what? What about the Carolinas? Yeah, you can see that down there. I was just showing that. Let me go back down here. To the southeast. You're close to your Her being right for the Carolinas, but I think your Euro right now is still your best model if you want to get the most accurate out there in the Carolinas. You know, you see Charlotte up to Raleigh, and everyone out west wants to get 2 to 4 inches. I think it's going to be close around Charlotte. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte got closer to 1 to 2. Raleigh 1 to 2. You'd want to be on the low end for that because again, you've got to account for sleet and mixing that the models don't do great with on the border of the snow line. KK, Gavin, and Jordan, I appreciate you guys. Philadelphia, I mean, right now there's not really much to talk about. A dusting to 1/4 inch is possible, I guess. That's where I live around there. I would be talking about it a lot more if we really had a good outlook here. Yeah, there's really almost no model that wants to do anything good. I mean, the new GFS kind of started to tilt more and wants to put more snow into Philly, but it's still not great. Let's see what the new GFS wants to actually do. The new GFS wants 1.5 inches into Philly. I don't think it's impossible. And then you can see up at the Mid-Atlantic what it wants to do. So, it wants to put more snow into kind of the DMV. And it actually does want to put like 1.5 inches into Long Island in New York City. I'd be careful about that, using the GFS as a short-range model to go off of. But we could see, if we see consensus with the Euro, then you can almost bet that we're going to see totals go up in that area from a dusting maybe up to a quarter to 1.5 inches through that region tomorrow. So we'll know. And then you can also see our latest GFS, what it wants to do through some of these areas. It wants to bring down the snow totals in the Ohio Valley a little bit, keep it about the same in Kentucky, actually amplify it in southern Kentucky, and really kick up the snow totals in Tennessee. I mean, it wants to put crazy 8 to 10 inches across the whole state, which I think is weird. So GFS also trended east, so it's putting more snow in Charlotte from Raleigh. Every model has started trending to put more snow in Charlotte to Raleigh. It's still not going to be a ton, but it's trended that way. Michael Griffin, Josh, Dredge, and Danny. I appreciate you guys. Connor the Weather Coat. Appreciate that sub. That's the only goat I'd want to be. Says Charlotte is expecting 2 to 4. Yeah, if you guys get 4, I would. I almost want to say you're guaranteed not to get 4 in Charlotte. I'm just being honest. It's accounting for other stuff. I don't know. I don't think anything says 2 to 4, but if something says 2 to 4, I think it's lying. I think your weather apps might say that. It's not. It's possible. It's possible. It could happen. I give it like a 5% chance of you guys getting more than 3. I'd give it like a 20% chance of you getting more than 2. No, I'd give you like a 30% chance of getting more than 2. A little bit more than 2 wouldn't shock me. I think that's possible. You said, but for Buford, GA, Northeast, GA. Yeah, that's where you want to be, Northeast GA, if anything. How far Northeast Georgia is that? I can't find it. Let me look at something real quick. One second, guys. By the way, happy almost Friday. I guess if you guys are out west, it's not almost Friday. Buford, Georgia. I wouldn't call that. I'd call that North Central, not Northeast. Yeah, you guys are in a much better spot than Atlanta. Even just a minor shift up north really helps you. Our HRRR 3K, 3 kilometers are best to look at for you guys. So we'll look at our O2Z. I think we'll be able to stretch. Yeah, I mean, seeing the O2Z HRRR this close, wanting to put an inch or 2 into there, I'd say an inch is definitely possible in Buford, Georgia. A nice little inch across everything. I don't think you're going to super outperform that because of that mixing down there. Tracy, Andy, and Ryder Mayo, I appreciate you guys. Asheville, North Carolina, 2 to 5 is most likely. You could outperform because you're in the mountains. I'd say 2 to 4 is most likely. But mountains can outperform. You get some of your own weather, some of your own lift. You can get some interesting stuff happen because of the geography with your systems. How much would you say Lookout Mountain in Georgia? I mean, yeah, 1 to 3. I'll give you a range there because it's so hard to tell with the mixing of what's happening. Chattanooga South. So I don't think you guys aren't going to see accumulation. I think that's the odds out are low. Monica, Andy, Tracy, Danny, Dredge, Ryder. Appreciate you guys. Let's see here. Why are there so many inconsistencies with snow totals? Well, you have to understand, there's not really... There's a lot that goes into snow totals. People don't understand. You could have a 5, depending on how the temperature changes as you move up in the atmosphere above your head is going to change your snow ratio. It's easy. It's much easier to tell snow totals if you're freezing from the surface to the sky, okay, from the ceiling to the floor, because your snow ratio is going to be 10 to 1. That means for every 1 inch of precipitable water, that's equivalent to 10 inches of snow. Super easy. Not super easy, but much easier to get accurate snow totals there. When you get southern snow and you have all this weird warm air and cold air mixing, it's really hard to say, okay, is every 1 inch of precipitable rain going to equate to 5 inches of snow, 2 inches of snow, or 8 inches of snow? Well, to get that, you have to understand the exact temperatures as you go up in the atmosphere from the low to mid to high, low to mid to high sections of the troposphere, and that's extremely difficult. I mean, we would need to send up weather balloons every hour to get a perfectly accurate picture on that. It's also changing very quickly, especially along these boundaries in the south where you have warm air and cold air colliding, mixing, warm air getting shoved up, cold air getting shoved down, and getting the correct snow ratio is extremely difficult. And also, it has to account for what the ground, not just the surface air temperature is, which is meteorology is focused a lot on the atmosphere, but also like the geography, like the surface temperature. Because if that's a little bit over freezing, then you need a layer of sleet and a layer of mixing to cool it down before you even start getting accumulation. It's super, super, super ridiculously complicated. It's not like rain totals where they're like, oh, there's like a certain amount of moisture in this, with this storm, and it's gonna fall over land. We know it's gonna fall, but by this time frame. And so snow is crazy. Snow is really, really weird, and it has a lot to do because, especially with rain as well, it's gonna rain if every layer of atmosphere, top, middle, and bottom, is above freezing. It's gonna rain, and the totals aren't gonna really change. Your snow totals can change with temperature change as you go up in the atmosphere, and it's super hard to read. It's just very advanced stuff. Sorry, that was too long a rant. Monica EC does. We'll call that. We'll call you ECD. Emily, I appreciate you, ECD. Army user Julie, what's going on, Julie? Brandy and Eric Nelson. Let's see here. Like I said, you might have just got an alert on your phone. The winter storm warning for Metro Atlanta in North Georgia was brought up to start at 5 a.m. Good enough for you guys living around Atlanta. Shout out Lake Lady / Kelly. Strict. Ashton, I appreciate you. Yeah, we'll look back here at our most. Actually, do we have? Let me look at something real quick, guys. Let's look at our latest. Ooh. Yeah, the GFS wants to give them another chance for snow in Tennessee literally next Wednesday. It would be light, though, so I wouldn't pay attention too much to that. Okay. Let's get back here. I'm gonna go back to our Euro model for some of the areas people are asking about. Spartanburg, South Carolina. You guys aren't in a bad spot. Spartanburg, South Carolina. Rock Hill, it's going to be close. Greenville, it's going to be Spartanburg, Greenville, surrounding areas, Anderson, Clemson. I think you guys are all going to get accumulating snow. We can look. I would use the Euro when trying to get the most accuracy at the range you're at. Tomorrow, I would definitely start using the HRRR. We see 1 to 2 up here with our Euro, our HRRR, 3 kilometer here. What do we see? Let's go back down to 00Z. Almost the same thing, more like a 1 to 2. So model agreement on that. And then your NAM just doesn't want snow anywhere down there, except for your NAM has finally started shifting more east. The NAM's been disagreeing with every model through this entire winter storm. So what are you going to do? Detroit, I know it wants to give you 4 inches up there, but 2 to 3. What's your best guess? Memphis? Yeah, we've been talking about Memphis. Memphis could overperform. I could see Memphis getting over like 6 to 8, even though some models have been moving it around. Memphis could overperform. There's a big snow band moving in right now, I think. Appreciate the follows and subs, guys. Thank you. Big chunk of apple pie and ice cream. I'm ready. God, you just made me hungry. Lucky Atlanta. Here in Charlotte, hoping for the best. Yeah. CLT. Someone asked, Oregon have any snow? You guys out west aren't doing fantastic, unfortunately, with your snowfall. I might switch over into a sub-only stream here real quick, but I'm going to go over the entire region again so everyone can get their answer. Here's our latest GFS. You guys got this system moving in here. That's going to be high elevation snow, low elevation rain. Temperatures are a little too warm up there, above average. You get some decent troughing where you're going to be below average for a little bit out there on the west coast finally, though. We'll actually use our 18Z. Here's what's good news, okay? I want to show you guys what's good news for you guys out west. You have been stuck in basically ridging for like all of December and January, for the majority of December and January, where you've had above average temperatures out here consistently. Here's your look from January 15th to 19th based on the Climate Prediction Center. And then here's your look from the 17th to the 23rd based on the Climate Prediction Center. Finally, the West is back to average to slightly below average temperatures. And in January, that's very cold air. And that would give you an opportunity to finally get some low elevation snow potentially in areas like Seattle, Portland, Boise, Salt Lake City, a lot of places that haven't gotten a ton of low elevation snow. There's a bunch more cities I shouldn't name, but and then you can look at your precip pattern too. Rough in the beginning, you start getting back towards average precip. So, you know, we've been talking about the end of January potentially being good out west. Last week of January, first week of February, you could see some cold air and above average moisture move back into the west. So it's starting to read like that, which we thought it would. It is Asheville, North Carolina here. 2 to 4, definitely. You guys might overperform in Nashville. I think your snow's probably moving in. Being realistic, around 12. If we were to go to our latest our O3Z right here, you can see it begin moving into the region about 12 hours from now. Yeah, closer to 10 to 11 hours from now. So yeah, I mean, maybe you do get it moving in a little bit earlier, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. mark, but that's not going to be the heavy stuff. That's just going to be the front of the system. Okay, really quickly, guys here. Let me go up to the Northeast. Well, actually, you know what I'm going to do, guys? You know what I'm going to do before I go into a sub-only live? I'm going to do, because I haven't done it yet this stream, I'm going to do speed round and answer as many questions as I can that are easy for me to answer. And then I'm going to go over everything that we've talked about this stream. What I think, I know I need to stretch. What I think everyone's totals are going to be everywhere. But first, that's a good point. Let me finish my drink, stretch, and then I'm going to answer as many questions as I can in as short a period of time, and then we're going to go over everything. And then I'm going to switch over to sub-only live on TikTok. Oh my God, my back hurts. I'm like wearing a tracksuit. I didn't realize it matched that well. Oh. 1 second, guys. Woo. Okay. All right. I think I am ready. Let's do it. Let's do a speed round so I can answer as many questions as I can, since it's hard for me to answer everyone. And then I'm going to go state to state, okay? After that, I'm going to go state to state totals. Talk about when I expect the next winter storm to move through. Big winter storm to move through out east. And then we're going to go over to sub-only live over on TikTok for a little bit so I can answer all my subs questions. Patty and Christy, I appreciate you guys. Sorry, I don't want to leave you guys hanging over on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Chattanooga has been giving me mixed answers. What do you think about it? I think 1 to 2 on the low end. You're going to get accumulation in Chattanooga. It'd be very, very weird to see you guys not get it. Not 100%, but I'm 95% sure. You're going to be between the 1 to 3 mark. OAM. Ryder Mayer, I appreciate you guys. All right, let's just do a speed round. Here we go. Louisville, Kentucky, 3 to 4. North Georgia, if you're actually talking about North Georgia, just to the north of Atlanta, 1 to 2. Most likely scenario. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I don't think so, unfortunately. Very unlikely. Most accurate weather model for Georgia snow total. Right now, that'd be our HRRR3K. And we'd be looking like this. Let's go straight into Georgia. Let's dive into Georgia. Gotta go quick. This is your most accurate model for Georgia right now. Actually, I don't like how far south it gets that snow. What the heck is the O3Z doing? Hold up. Wow. Is it actually doing that? Sorry, guys. I know I'm doing speed round, but let me see something real here. Okay. Well, you know, this... okay. Well, whatever. The HRRR3K should be your most accurate model. So this would be great news for you guys. A little bit farther south in Georgia. I would still take these. I would expect the snow line to be more up here. So my personal belief, right, is going to be the snow lines here. Not because I don't like you guys down here, but just because I've seen this stuff a lot. But you're very good. Short range model does want to put an inch of snow down here. So we'll say that we are not counting you out. Okay, let me get back up here. We'll just say that we're not counting you out. Okay. I gotta slow it. East Tennessee, it depends where you are in East Tennessee. East Tennessee, I would say 2 to 4 is guaranteed. Some of you are gonna outperform 5 to 6, especially as you get up in elevation. In 2014, they said we wouldn't get any, and it was a lot. Yep, you can outperform sometimes. You typically don't outperform when you're in. You can. It's like I said earlier. It's much easier to outperform if you have a 10-to-1 ratio, which is when you have below freezing temperatures in all layers of your atmosphere, lower, middle, and upper. And we do not have that here. So typically, you underperform in a southern snowstorm where you're really close with temperatures, which most of the areas getting snow will be, except for when you get up into the northern Ohio Valley. So you want to underestimate in a southern snowstorm if it's not very cold. You don't always get a 93 snowstorm that overperforms. Can you do Alaska real quick? I looked at Alaska earlier. The mountains are getting like 40 inches of snow over the next. All of coastal Alaska is getting like 40 inches of snow over the next week. I would assume that's low elevation too. There's some sort of system moving into it, but I haven't studied Alaska right now to deep dive into it. We're doing a speed round. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, gonna get anything? Unfortunately, I don't think so. A lot of rain, potentially a little ice, but I don't really think that much ice either. Yeah, Ashford, North Carolina, 2 to 4, but you guys could overperform. Mountains can overperform because based on elevation, these maps really think everyone's at 1,000 millibars pressure, which is like surface pressure. So let's see here. Pennsylvania, not looking great. The latest GFS does want to put like almost an inch or two into Philly, Central Jersey, and South. Again, we wouldn't use the American model as a short range model, but if we saw the Euro trend, the 00Z Euro trend to it tonight, we would actually maybe consider it. OAM, Ryder, Haggy, Tanner, the Gremlin, Nick, Shirley, I appreciate you guys. Chat's flying. I can't even stop it. North Carolina border, up near Durham. Yeah, I know it probably says bigger totals. I'd still only expect 2 to 3 because you don't want to be disappointed in mixing as possible up there. You're 2,000 feet up on a mountain above Knoxville. Yeah, I mean, you could easily. I mean, you could 4 to 6 is probably a more realistic guesstimation for you, with the possibility of overperforming that. California, listen. Here you go. There you go. That's about a week out. So, unfortunately. Let's see here. 1 second, guys. Let me go back to, well, I'll keep a euro on that. Yeah, New Jersey is not expected a trace to a quarter inch. But if the euro trends the GFS way, because the euro, a lot of people haven't realized this, today has been trending GFS. It has the storm negatively tilting right off the coast. So the euro is trending actually GFS right now. And if it does trend GFS 00Z, we might get a slight overperformance in the mid-Atlantic. But that's not going to be like multiple inches of snow. It might mean we get an inch or two instead of none. Northwestern of West Virginia is 1 to 3 inches. It's like Parkersburg area. Yeah, I'd say 1 to 3, but you'd probably be on the higher end of that. Yeah. Listen, all of Indiana's looking like a solid 2 to 4. So is Ohio. Some of you, there's going to be pockets that underperform, pockets that overperform, but as a general, I would say 2 to 3 inches looks most likely in both of those states. You have it's not as hard to predict that. You have a big swath of snow moving through that region with your low to the north and your low to the south pulling that system through, and your temperatures are perfectly fine. You're not going to get mixing or weird things that are going to throw off your snow totals. The Gremlin, appreciate it. And Grayson, Dusty, thank you. We have sleet in northeast Mississippi near Tupelo. Yeah, is sleet falling there right now? Yeah, I would assume that's sleet right now. As the low starts to move south of you, you will get some of that turning into snow, I think so. So you're going to start off a little rain and sleet, and then it's going to transition. Really quick, 1 second, guys. I'm still answering questions. 1 second. Yeah, Rock Hill's going to be tight. I think you'll get over an inch of accumulation, but I think you will get over an inch accumulation, but it's going to be close. That's a tough one to tell. Rachel, let's see here. What am I doing with my chat? Oh my gosh. There we go. Rachel Chambers, Rachel Reynolds, Shirley, Zwan, 08M, Fist Bump Murphy, Shirley, and D. I appreciate you guys. Northern VA. If you guys get over an inch, I think you're lucky. But again, if the Eurotrends GFS, you could. Yeah, heavy sleet just started. Yep, that's what we're seeing on Radar Omega right now. It's doing a pretty good job at that. What do you think for northern North Carolina Appalachias? I think if you get lucky, you could see literally like 6 to 8 inches. But I'd expect you should be hoping for 4 to 6. But you could get an over performance up there. And Deke OAM, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, Montgomery, Alabama, I wouldn't expect too much. Except for the possibility of some light freezing rain and a lot of rain and a lot of normal rain. North Texas got 3 inches today. We can look at our snowfall reports. I saw people reporting more in North Texas. Maybe that's just where you were. Although our snowfall reports aren't going to be updated yet. But they take forever to update. Yeah, because you can see North Texas snowfall reports 7 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches. Dallas Fort Worth 3 inches. It's literally exactly what I said would happen yesterday. I said don't believe when the NAM pulled out. I said you're not going to not get snow, and I said you're not going to see this 6 to 8 inch craziness. So that kind of happened how we thought yesterday. But no, yeah, you guys got more than look at this all. I mean, this is all North Texas where this was falling. So some areas 3, you can see 7, 6, 6. This is what I'm talking about. Snow doesn't fall uniformly though. These totals will be updated though. This is what's fallen so far, guys. So you can see you're starting to get some snow totals that are coming in Little Rock. Oklahoma City saw anywhere between 3 to 5 inches. Not bad. OEM Mason, I appreciate you guys. Next South Central winter storm. You have a possibility late into next weekend. That one might stay to the north though, but we're watching that time frame because there's a super amplified trough pushing down into the south around between the 19th and 21st. So something interesting could happen. Too early to tell if that's really going to be something for the south though. Also, we should trust the HRRR, Euro, or NAM more. The NAM has been doing terrible. The NAM did really, really bad with our last winter storm, and I think it's doing terrible with this. The NAM has been calling for 0 snow, even in the most northern part of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. 0 snow, basically. No, not just basically. 0 snow in North Carolina and 0 snow in South Carolina. The most recent run pushed a little bit back in. So listen, if this storm goes by and we see 0 snow in all those, I will stop making fun of the NAM. But if we see snow in all those states, the NAM was catastrophically wrong this time, and it should not be trusted for a little bit because what the heck is that? The NAM has been an outlier. Oh, by the way, speaking of the NAM 36 hours ago said no snow would fall in Texas. 0. That's what the model said, and it wasn't an 18Z or an 06Z. It was like a 12 or 00Z. I can't remember. It said 0. since no snow is going to fall in Texas when every other model said there was going to be snow in Texas. And there's parts of Texas that got 7-8 inches. So, no, I'm not going to trust the NAM right now. But I feel usually I do trust the NAM more, so I can see why you said that. Usually I do trust the NAM more. The NAM is doing crazy stuff lately, guys. And because it got Texas so wrong, that's why I think it's wrong. That's why it should be the outlier, thinking it's no one in these southern states is going to get any snow. All right, sorry. I had to rant about how much I hate the NAM. Goddamn NAM. Keeps me up at night. Yeah, Yogu. It was terrible. It did a bunch of really stupid things last winter storm, too. I've been so focused on this one, I can't remember, though. California reporting 291,000 without power. Dan, yesterday they reported 1.5 million, and this morning I saw it was up to like 1.8 million. So I don't know where you got the number from. I think it's higher, and maybe they got power back up, but I feel like there's no way they got over 1 million people power back that quickly. Maybe. Also, like 1.5 million people without power also seems like that was too high. So maybe my number was wrong, but that's what I saw they were reporting on whatever news station I was watching the other day. And I remember being like 1.5 million. That seems crazy. Yeah, Atlanta is your O3Z of the HRRR still likes an inch of snow into Atlanta, and I'm being very cautious about it because they're still accounting for mixing and sleet. But yeah, I think a coating in Atlanta still very possible. A coating of snow on the ground, maybe up to an inch, but it's very possible. Mason, OAM, Jose, Zach, Didi, appreciate you guys. Let's see here. Does anyone know if Northwest Georgia? Yeah, it's coming. It is coming. It's coming in. That's what's on the webpage now. Dan, oh, no, you don't have to apologize. No, I mean, honestly, I thought when I heard the 1.5 million power outages, I was like, maybe I'm wrong because that seemed ridiculous to me. But regardless, what's happening over there is insane. Approaching 1,500 structures destroyed. They got the National Guard in there. Hundreds of thousands or millions of people without power. I mean, there's already casualties are going up every 10 minutes. It's getting really bad. Appreciate the follows and subs, guys. Okay, I'm going to answer a lot of questions here for another like 5 minutes. I'm going to switch over to sub-only chat over on TikTok for a little bit. How much for Virginia Beach? Yeah, Virginia Beach is in a decent spot. There's a strip of snow that does want to set up there. 1 to 3 inches is probably the best guesstimate through Virginia Beach. I doubt you guys end up with no accumulating snow with this. DD, I appreciate you. Chicago, yeah, models do. I would say a safe bet for Chicago is an inch or two, even though some may say more. I think 1 to 2 is a very safe bet for Chicago. Near Chattanooga area, may get closer to 3. Definitely a possibility, Gianna. Yeah. Do you think the HRRR is a bit bullish farther east? Yeah, it may be. It may be. Let me see what the OOZ did. I think it's handling this okay. It's actually being less bullish than it is sometimes in this time frame. All of Ohio, expect 2 to 4. Some of you could outperform because you're going to have a good snow ratio. It's going to be very cold temperatures. That's going to be less dense snow. It can pile up a little bit better. Arkansas is looking great. Not southern Arkansas, but all of Arkansas is going to get a good. I mean, Little Rock's already reported almost 4 inches of snow. So, and it's like they're not even halfway done. Mooresville, North Carolina. Even though I think Charlotte 1 to 2, Mooresville could get 2 to 3. Going north of the city is going to help you. Yeah, I got family in Mooresville. I am in Mooresville quite a lot. Not a lot, but over the year, yeah. Traveling tomorrow from Mexico, Missouri, to Rockville, Illinois. I wouldn't. The snow up here isn't going to be. It's going to be not like a heavy snowfall. It's going to be you could get some heavy bands, but you're not going to be dealing with heavy winds, sleet, ice, that stuff. You got to be careful driving in snow, but it's not expected to be very violent conditions. So some people just, it can be more dangerous driving in snow because some people just are nervous and make dumb, decisions. But it's the driving down here. I would be off the roads, especially where the snow line ends and the sleet and ice line begins. This is where stuff gets sketchy, and the heavy snow And you're gonna have heavy winds just to the north of this low pressure through this region as well, right there, and that could be very dangerous in that area. Cincinnati, yeah, 2 to 4, definitely possible in Cincinnati. You're not gonna. This isn't gonna. You're gonna get accumulation in Cincinnati. That's how much? I'd say 2 to 4. You're not gonna end up with under an inch. I would say 2 to 4. I would honestly say 2 to 3 if I wanted to get exact with that. Yeah, South Carolina can't drive, so I'm staying off the road, especially in this type of weather, right? How much for Central Jersey, and when is the next major snowstorm? If the Euro starts to lean GFS tonight, maybe we do get an inch of accumulation in Central Jersey. I still think it's going to end up being a dusting to a quarter inch or a dusting to a half inch max. We have to watch the 18th or 19th to the 21st time frame. There's some good model agreements on a large trough digging into the south and east, really into the south central region, and then skirting up off to the east, and then potentially pulling a storm up in the mid Atlantic. So that'd be the end of next weekend. There's a serious good signal for that. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but the signal is strong. You have model consensus across all globals, like we had with these last two storms that did take place. OAM, Zua, Didi, and Shay, I appreciate you. The heck was that? My cat? The heck? You guys hear that? What is that? Oh, that's you? Thank you. I was like, what is that? It scared me. Okay, I'm good. Sorry, guys. Look like, yeah. Was there a new ice total map posted for Northern Atlanta? Yeah, let's get that. I would say this is going to be one of your most accurate for that. There's your sleet. Freezing rain. There's that, and then your Euro. We don't really have a super updated one. I mean, we could look at our GFS. Our GFS is doing some weird stuff, though. It says a quarter. I would actually expect... Listen, if it is like this and it's a quarter or under, you're going to be fine. I wouldn't plan on being on the roads, though, still. But this doesn't usually knock out too much power. I don't like saying that because this can overperform. I don't expect this ice to overperform. I actually expect it to underperform. Anyone who's in this region, though, it is best, like they say, extra batteries, bottled water, some food you can eat without having to heat it up, and extra fuel if your house is heated with fuel. Emergency kit, stuff like that. If you overperform and you get a half inch or more of ice, that shuts down cities, your power's out, roads are impassable. Things really change drastically once you get up towards that half inch or more of ice. And a lot of people don't realize how bad it can get. So, but right now, it's not looking like it. It's not looking like our last ice storm that we had up here, which is good. I like to see that. How much southwest corner of Missouri? We'll say 3 to 4 is the best. Best guesstimate. Am I on my Euro right now? Let's see what our HRRR thinks on that. We can actually go because that's happening really soon, so we can look at a good O3Z model. It does want you to get close to 6. So if you were to take the Euro in the HRRR O3Z run into account, you could overperform and get 5. I don't think you're going to get 6, but you could overperform and get 5 inches, yeah. Pittsburgh, will it move north? Not much. No. The snow you're getting in Pittsburgh isn't really even totally associated with this system. There's a low pressure to your north. And there's some a lake effect systems that want to kind of blend in with the snow that's pushing around with that low up to the north. So Pitt getting 1 to 3 inches this weekend isn't out of the question. So Yolanda, Shay, I appreciate that. Northeastern Missouri. You might not get anything. Dusting. If you're really up there in northeastern Missouri, you probably still see an inch through most of northeastern Missouri, unless you're up near that border there. I'm gonna switch over to sub only, a sub only stream, sub only chat stream. You can actually see the stream on TikTok. You just can't chat in it if you're not sub, because I want to make sure I answer all the subs questions. I appreciate you guys. Anyone who's followed, subbed, gifted, being in here, engaging. I love doing this. It's super fun. It's awesome. Shout out to Lake Lady. Alexis, I appreciate you. Yeah, you guys are awesome. I'm going to go over there and try to answer as many questions as I can. And, yeah, I will be posting updates all day tomorrow. I'll be posting probably 2 videos tomorrow, updates, and I'll be streaming. Same time on the weekend, sometimes Saturday, Sunday, I'll do a middle of the day stream. So, but yeah, anyone who's new in here, I post every day. I stream every night. Weekend, sometimes I'll stream during the day as well. So always trying to stay up to date with what's going on. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And happy Friday. Happy Friday. I will say this. I'll just show you this map in general based on our national blended models. That's going to be the most average here. Really quickly before I go. Really quickly, this because it just updated. This isn't a bad update here. Still wanting a little bit of snow into Atlanta. Still liking snow. Charlotte up to Raleigh. Southern Virginia. Tennessee, you're going to be good. You still get an inch, over an inch of accumulation into these northern, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, even though the NAM thinks you're not going to get any. I think the NAM is crazy. Central Southern Missouri. Arkansas, you guys are fine. The entire Ohio Valley, central to southern Illinois, all of Indiana, all of Michigan, all of Ohio, all of Kentucky, you guys are going to get somewhere between 2 to 5 inches. It's going to be widespread. So West Virginia may overperform in the mountains like they do. I expect Appalachia to overperform in the mountains. Mid-Atlantic, it's going to be tough. I would really quickly assume that this is accounting for the latest GFS. That's why your national blended models is actually putting an inch to 2 inches into some areas up here. So that's good news. We'll see if the Euro agrees too. The national blend is going to agree as well. So still a chance to get a little bit of accumulation up here for you guys. So, but all right. I appreciate you guys so much. Almost hit 1,000 new followers, 950 on TikTok. I appreciate the subs and follows, guys. Thank you for being in here. I'm going to hop on TikTok, do a sub-only stream for a little bit. Alrighty?